604 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane off and running. Brian here with you. John LaBeouf producing. We're starting off your Friday morning show at 73 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. And yes, we got a busy show lined up for you. We are apparently nowhere near done with the legislative session. We've got a lot more to unpack there. We are nowhere near done with the days of the executive and the legislative branch within our state governments fighting. That's coming up a little bit later. Not fighting. That's not fair. Not yet, but it's growing towards that. We've got Patty G in the house today. Looking forward to that. Ronnie Rantz going to talk a little Rougarou baseball, as it is Guarantee Media Night tonight. We will talk with coming in for Foodie Friday today, Chef Peter Sclafani. John, you haven't experienced this yet.
Not yet.
No, Peter. I forget what caused it last year, but Peter didn't come in last year. It's been 2 years since he's been in for Foodie Friday.
Okay.
And the guy is an absolute staple for Foodie Friday. This guy knows cows like Franz knows the law.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that's
this guy. Good. You talk about a know your cuts of meat and what to do with them guy. So we're gonna have a little bavetta steak. It's like a flank steak, a little chimichurri on top. And I believe when we get to what national day is it in this day in history? I believe we're going to be sipping on mojitos before it's all said and done.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, we got a lot of room to run, so let's do exactly that. Top stories and trending. Let's go.
Number 5.
Not 100% sure what's going on in Killian, but the town might be without its police department for the next year. That was not a mistake. I did not say that wrong. The town might be without a police department for the next year. After Tuesday night's blow to the Killian Police Department, where the mayor said, Mayor Caleb Badwell said the town needs to make cuts moving forward. He wants to cut the police department for a year, let the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Department take over within that year. Former police chief Tim Henderson says the Killian Police Department currently includes just 3 people, the chief and 2 officers, so you're probably not going to miss a whole lot.
Number 4.
Louisiana State Supreme Court agreed to suspend Baton Rouge lawyer and previous city judge candidate Niles Hamer for 3 years after investigating allegations stemming from, quote, neglecting multiple legal matters, including owing restitution to clients. This is a 3-year suspension is rough, very rough for an attorney. And, Niles hasn't had the easiest of goes of it either. His office is we're right down that way. And a couple of years ago, his office burned to the ground. Yeah, I know. So, suspended for 3 years. That's the word.
Number 3.
Amid disturbing revelations that have emerged about the top pick to develop a new $400 million arena for LSU, stakeholders are planning a due diligence review to determine the future status of the project. A statement from LSU athletic spokesman Zach Greenwell yesterday afternoon said all involved parties are evaluating the implications on the potential arena project in Baton Rouge, considering this week's news regarding Oakview Group.
Number 2.
A Denham Springs man arrested on various sex crime charges now faces nearly 60 counts of child pornography. 31-year-old Kevin Hamby was arrested in May on indecent behavior with a juvenile and computer-aided solicitation of a minor. After a thorough forensic evaluation of Hamby's digital media, Livingston Parish deputies added 57 counts of possession of pornography involving juveniles.
Number 1.
In the process of entering a plea to spend the rest of his life in prison on Thursday, Matthew Meyer gave a beat-by-beat breakdown of his account of the deaths of a Louisiana State Police trooper and a woman across 3 parishes. Meyer, 35 years old, was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences, as well as nearly 350 years for the October 2021 killings of Master Trooper Adam Gobert and Pamela Adair following Thursday's plea in a Gonzales courtroom. What's trending? What is trending?
Well, Brian, it's been a week since the flash floods ravaged the Guadalupe River in Texas, and unfortunately the death toll is over 120, and roughly 170 people remain missing.
I heard on the way in this morning, I think they've gotten that number down to 160.
Okay.
So, but here's the thing, though. I don't know what that did to the death toll. I haven't heard the latest count on that. Yeah. Did they find 10 more bodies, or did 10 more people show up as accounted for? I don't know. So we'll keep an ear out on it. Obviously, news, ABC News is going to be all over it throughout the morning.
Yes, indeed. I hope it's the latter for sure.
Yeah.
35% tariffs is what Canada could be facing in the latest from the White House.
So,
Man.
35%. I'm trying to think of what I get from Canada that I really, really need. Well, we get a lot of timber from up in Canada, but you know what? We have a lot of timber here in Louisiana. I am just fine with Louisiana timber taking over.
Yeah.
So, I don't, I don't drink their whiskey. I don't drink their beer.
No syrup.
Maybe I don't know. Where does log cabin come from? You know?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to look further into that. But yeah, I can't really think of anything either. Besides,
what do they do that we can't?
Oh, no, previously, there's nothing that they.
Yeah, so that's my point. Is like previously we got a lot of steel from there, and now we're just going to manufacture it here. Like, Canada's one that had a lot to lose in this whole battle.
They did. Yeah, they really did. Well, in other news, tonight is Talk 107.3 night at Pete Goolsbee Field for the Baton Rouge Rougarou game.
Yes, it is. Yes,
you excited?
I am. I'm looking forward to it. The Acadiana Cane Cutters are kind of the rival because they're the next closest team. Although it's Texas Collegiate League baseball.
Yeah.
So you got guys coming in from all kinds of teams to form up together. I'm not gonna be able to stay the whole time because I gotta go pick up my daughter from camp first thing in the morning. So I'll be rolling out to. I'll be leaving probably after about the second inning or so to head to Texas.
Oh wow!
Oh, I know. But it's neither here nor there. For me though, it's more about the atmosphere. It's more about the vibe. Pete Goolsbee Field as you're rolling in on a Friday evening is just it's awesome. It's such a fun event. Ronnie Rantz is going to be on with us at 8:15 to talk about it. Really, really looking forward to that. He's been doing it right since they got that whole thing started. So good stuff on the way.
Yes, absolutely.
611 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Speaking of baseball, we'll be talking a little baseball when we do our sports here in just a little bit after our break. Before our break, want to remind you about the folks over at Mathern's. You know where to find them. They're downtown on 3rd Street. They're in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center. That's right across the street from Tiger Stadium. And they're back in their original location in Baton Rouge. Remember the old school Kenilworth supermarket? Well, that was Big Ernie Mathern, Tony Mathern. They're back in that location again. So Highland Road, just west of Kenilworth Boulevard, that's where you're going to find them. And what are you going to find when you go there this week? How about bone-in pork chops at $1.79 a pound? Oh, I want to tell you what. You want to fire up the grill and throw a couple pork chops on there? That's so good. How about ribeye steaks at $14.99 a pound? That's even better. Mathern smoked sausage. You get the big box for $13.99. How about going on right now? The center cut pork chops are $2.49 a pound. Are you a fan of the Conica sausage? It's that thin sausage. They make it in Alabama. That's $4.99 for a 1 pound package right now. They've got all kinds of deals right now, and I know about all the deals because I get the weekly ads sent right to my right to the app. I have the Mathern's Rewards app, which means I'm also saving cash towards more groceries or earning cash towards more groceries every time I shop at Mathern's. MLB draft, LRN 14, 15, 16. If we have time, we'll do the recruit after that. If not, the recruit will roll over to the 25 segment. Do what? It's LRN cuts. 616. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane continuing right now. It is sports time up in here. And we are getting ready for the Major League Baseball draft. It gets underway in Atlanta this weekend. Man, a lot going. It's a busy time in Atlanta, huh? Got Major League Baseball draft this weekend. And then Monday is when SEC Media Days gets underway. Our whole crew from our sister station 104.5 ESPN will be, in the words of Jerry Reed, eastbound and down, heading to Atlanta. The whole crew will be doing shows from there over the next couple days. I believe Parish Construction and Roofing sponsoring that. And it is phenomenal coverage. It is fantastic coverage. Hopefully we'll get somebody on each morning, just kind of bring us an update, a little review, preview sort of thing. Starting off Monday morning, which would be nothing but preview, as LSU will be the first to take the podium. I'm trying to get this logistically worked out, but it looks like the time where we would have them on is the exact same time that they would have access to LSU players. So we're going to have to work on that. Can't step on that. That's a ton of good content, which would be a good time to remind you that LouisianaSports.net is your home for all of that next week. Obviously, 104.5, ESPN, all of their social media outlets. There's going to be so much video. But on top of that, LouisianaSports.net is where you're going to find a whole lot of the written content that's going to go along with it. But that's not until Monday. Starting over the weekend in Atlanta, LSU is going to be busy, to say the least, with the Major League Baseball draft. Several names set to come off the big board in the opening rounds. D1 baseball analyst Aaron Fitt expects LSU pitcher and St. Paul's Wolf Cade Anderson to go first overall to the Washington Nationals. Says he's already the best pitcher in college baseball.
You've also got a lot of untapped, even upside, I think. As good as this guy is, as high as his floor is, he stands out because he's a lefty that has that super advanced feel for four really good pitches. I think he can throw even harder.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt, because Anderson is 2 years removed from Tommy John surgery. Y'all remember what last year looked like, not this past year, what 2024 looked like for Anderson. It was that recovery process, and the fact that he took the recovery process so slow is going to pay dividends on the back end. Remember back, not like you're going to remember what went on at St. Paul's, but Cade Anderson didn't pitch his senior year at St. Paul's because of the surgery. So the work he's getting done, the strength that he has, I mean, it's going to continue to grow. By the way, Anthony Ianson is another top 50 prospect after transferring in from UC San Diego. His stock skyrocketed after this season in Baton Rouge. Fitz says his stock might not be done rising.
We already had, obviously, a track record, and he had his reputation, but I think one of those guys that could have made a little bit more of a jump in the World Series, his stock, I'm saying, could have made another jump forward by just how excellent he was at Omaha.
One guy who's in that will he stay or will he go category is DH Ethan Fry. Here's what Fit had to say there.
I don't know how much he would really boost his stock. I mean, that feels like more of a gamble to me. I mean, I think he probably goes out this year as a 3 to 5 round pick, something like that, and probably gets that pro career started. That's what I would expect.
It's all about meeting the numbers, though, and he's got leverage. Here's the Fox Business Report. I gotta get something from upstairs. I shall return. We're already in traffic? Man, that was fast. All right, let's get after it here. Give me 1 second. I don't have everything open just yet. It caught me off guard. All right, here we go. We are starting off with a pretty clean morning on the interstates. No real volume to report on 10 or 12 westbound coming in from Ascension or Livingston Parish, respectively. Cutting through town, I-10's looking good in both directions. We've got 10 eastbound coming in from West Baton Rouge looking good. I-110's looking good as well. Both bridges are wide open. On your surface streets, I don't see any accidents there. Oh, no. Excuse, I stand corrected. About 20 minutes ago, an accident was posted up by the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office, Jackson Road at Tucker Road. And then from about an hour ago, there was a stalled vehicle reported in the roadway, 10 westbound near the 10-12 split. But I don't see that that's causing any problems. It's probably gone. They just left it on the board. But that's really good traffic from our Talk 1073 Traffic Center. All right, it's 624 Talk 1073 FM, WBRP. We had a little sports spillover here as there was another big story to report from yesterday, and that's LSU picking up some more commitments for their 2026 recruiting class. Let's start off with five-star Lamar Brown. He actually made his announcement on ESPN. Hey, let's hear it. Go ahead.
I know the Final Four, LSU, Texas, Texas A&M, and Miami. Lamar, where will you be playing college football?
So first off, I like to thank God. Without him, it'd be possible. Second, my support system, my teammates. I get it going with them almost every day. So just everybody that was with the process with me. So hard choice, but I decided to do it. With that being said, for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be committed to Louisiana State University. Go Tigers.
Five-star prospect, top-ranked player in the state of Louisiana, choosing LSU over Texas A&M, Miami, and Texas. 6'4", 285 pounds. He could play either offensive or defensive line at the heights of college football. Coming in as a D lineman, though. He's also a state champion in both the shot put and discus while he was over at U-High. The number 7 player overall in the country. That's according to On3 Rivals, and the nation's number 1 player by ESPN. This was down to the wire between A&M and LSU. I was listening to Moscona yesterday, who was saying that he knew the number, NIL number that was coming in from Texas A&M, and I want to make sure I have this worded right. I'm paraphrasing, but LSU didn't get all the way there, but got close enough to it to where the staying at home part of it factored in the equation. It's like we can't give you as much money as them, but you have all these other benefits here, which played in LSU's favor. So Lamar Brown coming to LSU, joining fellow 5-stars Tristan Keys at wide receiver, Trenton Henderson's an edge rusher, Richard Anderson at defensive line. It is a loaded class for 2026 thus far, and they've already got 15, 16 guys. It's another top 10 class. Now, that wasn't the only person picked up yesterday. DeAnthony Lafayette commits to LSU as well. This was, let me grab this one from LouisianaSports.net, just so I can make sure I have it all right. Hunt Palmer writing this one. LSU's defensive line class is taking shape. Hours after number 1 prospect Lamar Brown shows LSU on national television, rising 3-star prospect DeAnthony Lafayette commits to the Tigers on Thursday over offers from Miami and Oklahoma. On3's Hayes Fawcett was the one that put it out on Twitter. This one was not on ESPN. DeAnthony Lafayette coming as a 3-star, 6'1", 230 pounds. He had a big junior year with more than 40 quarterback pressures for Lake Nona High School in Orlando. The number 33 edge rusher in the country and number 41 player in Florida, by 247 Sports. But he's one whose stock could rise as his senior year wears on. So a big day yesterday on the recruiting front for LSU football, to be sure. And once again, if you wanted to read up on any of it, it's all available at louisianasports.net. The 104.5 guys, and the whole louisianasports.net team has just been crushing it. Content on top of content. All right, want to take a quick minute to remind you about the folks over at NeuroJust. I'm sure you've been hearing the spots here, the commercials a good bit. If you are suffering from anxiety or depression, or a family member or a friend or a coworker, if you're seeing the signs, give neurojust.com a look. NeuroJust, they specialize in helping treat anxiety and depression, but they do it in a different way. See, there's nothing wrong with talk therapy. There's nothing wrong with sitting down with a professional therapist and talking your problems out. There's also nothing wrong with, the idea of getting a prescription if that's what's required. But how often are prescriptions just thrown out there without a second thought? NeuroJust specializes in TMS, that's transcranial magnetic stimulation. It's FDA approved. It's non-invasive. It's basically just a releveling of the way your brain focuses on things, the way your brain perceives things. You're not constantly in a fight or flight battle within your mind. So if prescription drugs have proven to have side effects, have proven to be addictive, or if they're losing their, you're seeing the residual drop off in effects, give NeuroJust a look. NeuroJust, neurojust.com, neurojust.com. One of the questions coming out of the last legislative session, I've asked a couple of times, and I got to be honest, I haven't asked it every time, but is the honeymoon over between Governor Landry and the state legislature? I've gotten mixed reviews when asking that question, but it's looking more and more like what seemed to be in lockstep in 2024 was a little bit less so in 2025, and who knows where that heads for 2026. One lawmaker in particular speaking out a good bit. We're going to hear from him next. You'll probably hear it in news as well, but we'll hear from him next on Talk 107.3 at 6:30. Good morning, Christy. Welcome in, boo. Lineup starting to come together for Moon's show on Tuesday. I'm looking to go 2 guests per hour, and I'm gonna do an opening segment that's just me. I'm gonna need you to stick around, by the way. Yeah. Because I want to run everything out of the studio. I'm gonna talk with his producer after the show today, but I don't want to have people calling his hotline down there. Okay. I'll call this hotline his hotline if they give us sponsors and whatnot. Yeah. But I'm looking to do 1 segment that's just me, 2 interviews, and then callers.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be more like his style, type of, his layout, basically?
Yeah. I am going to completely derail the Ronnie Rantz segment. Oh. And I'm going to tell you why right now. And I want y'all paying attention, Facebook. Hold my feet to the fire if I don't do this. Ronnie Rantz runs the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is in downtown Natchitoches, Louisiana. That interstate exit off 49 for Natchitoches is ass. We need a better Natchitoches exit. I want the next Buc-ee's in Louisiana to be at that exit. That French Market, whatever BS stop is garbage, and then they got a raceway right next door. The meat pies at that stop are freaking terrible. They're terrible. Look, I know Mammy's meat pies. My brother Thomas Rock's been in here slinging meat pies. I know a good meat pie. Cane River, baby. That's what I'm talking about. What they got in there is frozen BS. You might as well get your damn meat pie from the Schwann's man. So either celebrate Natchitoches or bring me a Buc-ee's.
The Schwann's man? Oh, and her the Schwann's. Is Schwann still around?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Hit my mic.
That's a throwback. All right.
Should that rant have been on the air?
It probably should have.
Should that have been on the air? I mean, that was Facebook only. Ronnie Rantz coming up at 8:15. Oh, man. We're going to talk Rougarou baseball with Ronnie. Looking forward to that. But I was telling John, I was telling the glorified crew over there on Facebook, I was letting them know, along with heading up the Rougarou, with owning the Rougarou, Ronnie does the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. And I detest the Natchitoches Interstate exit. You head up 49, and it's garbage. There's nothing to offer there. Once you get into Natchitoches proper is beautiful. Northwestern State's campus is beautiful. Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame could not be better. The whole front street on the river. Now, I've never been there at Christmas time. I understand they kick it up a few notches. But the interstate exit is awful. There's just nothing appealing about it. You got a place that has the name French Market on it, and there's nothing French Market about it. They got frozen meat pies. We'll get into it with Ronnie. That's at 8:15. Right now, though, I want to stay on topic as best we can. As I teased it, you knew Palermo was going to hit it right there in news. Alan Seabaugh, not the happiest with Jeff Landry right now. State Senator Alan Seabaugh has been, he made a statement on Keel Radio, KEEL, up in Shreveport. A rift between Landry and Seabaugh has been growing since last year, and Seabaugh says it got more personal after the governor used his line on veto power. I had Palermo put it to scrap 4 different projects within Seabaugh's district.
I'm not the one that made it personal. He is. But the fact is, I'm not going to bite my tongue and tell people he's doing a great job when he isn't.
Seabaugh is one of several Republican lawmakers who were on the wrong end of the governor's veto pen for funding of local projects. And Moon has made note of that. Like when it came to line item vetoes, the governor was line item vetoing Republicans a lot more than Democrats. Very disparate right there. The governor said funding for some of the projects was removed because the construction budget was overfunded. You still have to pick and choose which ones you're going to fund. It's still very arbitrary. But the Republican legislators who lost funding for their district also voted against an insurance reform bill that was supported by the governor. Now, Seabaugh says he had a lot of hope when Landry was sworn in, but his fandom is waning.
I was one of the first to endorse him. I brought him all over North Louisiana. I was on board with him from the jump. He was a great attorney general, and I thought he was going to be a great governor. So far, he's been a huge disappointment.
Now, continuing with the Louisiana Radio Network version of the story, Kate Kelly, Landry's one of Landry's spokespeople, said that during the regular session, the governor focused on passing real reforms that will move the state forward, and the results were historical. And Kate is 100% right, and the governor's 100% right on that front. On that front, absolutely. We had the governor on right after the session was over with, and he talked about exactly that. But Seabaugh questions why the governor would take away funding for a road project to make it safer to enter and exit Parkway High School up in Bossier City.
Because it's needed. It's a safety issue, and it's something that the community was really looking forward to. That actually hurts people.
Now, to go along with the line item vetoes for funding projects, the governor also vetoed a bill by Alan Seabaugh. It was SB 111, I believe it was. I want to pull it up here. We had Alan Seabaugh on the second the session was over with, and he had a lot to say about that. You could tell that some of this was brewing even back then before it bubbled over with the line item vetoes on funding projects. Yes, it was SB 111 by Senator Alan Seabaugh, and I want to make sure I have these in the right order here. Let's just, I believe, cut one. If you got Seabaugh 1, go ahead and play that one first.
I've been asked that question a lot.
Oh, stop. It's cut 2 that we need to play first. I'm sorry. We'll go back to cut 3. Cut 1 after cut 3. Cut 2.
Everybody felt we had to deal with it. It is the number one issue that people bring up when you go to town halls,
talking about insurance
campaign
reform
events, or just out in public meeting people at parades. When they figure out I'm a state senator, either the first or second thing that they bring up is high cost of car insurance or homeowners insurance every time.
Yep.
And trial lawyers don't want to talk about it because they're laughing all the way to the bank. They're making money off the system hand over fist. They don't want to change a thing. They literally oppose every insurance bill, everything down the pike. And again, the one that got vetoed, the trial lawyers were literally the only people to oppose that bill. The governor never put in a card against it, never said, hey, what about an amendment, never expressed any problems, crickets, nothing, and then vetoed it. The only people that were against it were the trial lawyers. So, it was a very good tort reform bill. And governor promised to sign all the tort reform bills. This was one of the most significant ones of the session that flew through that. 2/3 in the Senate, flew through the Senate. It was a good, we had Republican trial lawyers voted for the bill.
He goes on to talk about which some of those Republican trial lawyers were. The bill itself, SB 111, what it was all about was good faith and bad faith claims, right? If a claim was in excess of what your policy was, the prescription, then the amount of time that I don't want to get too far in the weeds with it. Let me just read from the digest. It says, present law provides that an insurer owes its insured a duty of good faith and fair dealing. Present law further provides for acts by an insurer that constitute a breach of the insurer's duty of good faith and fair dealing. The proposed law limits a cause of action when certain conditions are present. And then the text of the bill goes into some of those conditions. It was vetoed, like you heard Senator Seabaugh say. It was vetoed. The governor never put in a card against it. Nobody said anything until it got that veto hammer. Now, when a bill gets a veto, the governor normally puts out a message that goes along with the veto, to which I asked Senator Seabaugh, cut 3, what did the veto message say?
A bunch of stuff that made absolutely no sense.
All right, thank you.
With you. the bill dealt with personal injury claims. The veto message talked about hurricanes and property damage and a whole bunch of stuff that had absolutely nothing to do with the bill. I don't know who wrote it, but they don't practice in this area of law because it literally made no sense. It talked about a lot of things that had nothing to do with the bill.
The veto message itself, and yeah, it's it goes on for a couple of pages, so I'm not going to have time to read the whole thing. But Senator Sebo was pretty right in the way he described that. Now, that being said, as it appears there's a growing rift between them, I also asked Senator Sebo about what putting a letter grade on the session, to which he said,
I've been asked that question a lot, and you got to keep a frame of reference. I spent 8 years there under John Bell Edwards, so I know what a D and an F session looks like. Because of that, I don't think I can give a grade below a C.
Okay.
But I'm going to give this one a B minus or a C, just simply because there was so much that we didn't do. But I can't give it a D or an F because John Bell Edwards showed everybody what a D and an F session can look like.
I think that's an important reminder on the back end. Fresh off of getting one of his bills getting the hammer, but before losing the funding via line item veto, Senator Seabaugh still had the head on a swivel to say we're still looking at a B minus session here. I think it's important to remember that when you have that many people moving that fast and that many different people like looking to serve their individual districts, you are not going to be in lockstep all the time. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So while there might be a rift going on, I don't think it's big enough yet, or maybe that's the difference between then and now, to say the honeymoon's over, to say things are leaving the rails. I don't think we're there yet. I don't think I'm not playing catastrophe syndrome, as Nick Saban used to say. 646 to Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Don't forget, coming up before the show's over with today, we got the Foodie Friday segment coming your way. Chef Peter Sclafani going to be in the house. We're celebrating beef, and it's presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. You can learn more at beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Quick break. We got Lake Urgent Care next. Then, Byron, you can back me up. That exit's ass. And they put in the big roundabout, and that's made it a little bit better, I suppose. But there's nothing appealing about that. You got the couple of hotels that are right there that, whatever. They're not great. But they're also on the interstate, so they're removed from campus. Like when it comes to the hotels, I would rather the hotels be within walking distance of the campus rather than walking distance of an interstate. What the hell, damn it? It doesn't feel like you've entered a real town at that exit. Right. Like you got to get all the way up to where that Super One Foods is at before, like, you got to take University Parkway all the way up to basically where the Northwestern State sign is before you feel like you're in Natchitoches. You're nowhere up until then. Yeah, Karen Miner. .652 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We got State Representative Gabe Firment coming up at 7:15. Patty G will be in the house right after that. Right now, though, let's talk about making the most of your time, specifically when it comes to your healthcare experience. We got Kyron Miner on the line. She's the director of marketing for Lake Urgent Care. Kyron's here to share some really helpful ways that you can use technology to take some of the hassle out of healthcare and work smarter, not harder. Care smarter, not harder. Kyron, welcome aboard. How you doing this morning?
Thank you so much, Brian. Excited to be here.
Not glad to have you on. Absolutely. Always love my Friday conversations as Lake Urgent Care has been an unbelievable resource thus far. So let's start with, before we get into the tech, let's talk about how the Lake Urgent Care has kind of evolved over the years, because y'all have been through quite the process.
Yes, great question. So we've really grown alongside our community over the past 25 years. And I think just from day one, our mission has always been to provide high quality, quick care, and also doing that conveniently. We know life doesn't slow down when you're sick or injured. So we started by expanding hours and just opening multiple locations for that access and to make that easier. Over time, we've added new services like our medical weight loss program and occupational health, so patients can take more care under one roof and then one place. And then most importantly, we've just embraced technology at every step to make healthcare simpler and just more personal to the patient.
All right, let's talk about that tech then. That's where we're going to pick things up. And of course, when it comes to tech, it starts with the very beginning of the process, and that would be check-in. Tell me about it.
Yes, of course. So online check-in lets you choose a time slot before you even arrive to the clinic. It's like putting your name down on a wait list. And then when you book or select your time, you can just imagine it like you're checking in at the front desk at that exact moment without actually being there to do it in person. You're added to the queue right away. And this allows you to skip the hassle of the in-person paperwork and then saving you time once you do arrive to the clinic. And then this means you can wait from the comfort of your own home or even finish those last-minute errands nearby instead of sitting in the waiting room. It's really perfect for any non-life-threatening issues like minor injuries or stomach bugs, throat pain, allergies, anything that would need quick care but isn't necessarily an emergency.
I think everybody who's had to sit in a waiting room realizes what a game changer that is. There's also virtual care that y'all have picked up on and really run with. When should someone choose the option for virtual care?
Yeah, so virtual care is great when you want to see a provider without leaving your home. It's for ages 12 and up, and it works for more situations than what people realize. And just a few examples of those are sinus infections, pink eye, rashes, mild flu symptoms, prescription refills, just to name a few. And if it turns out that you do need that test or to see a physician in person or just a physical exam, we've got you covered, so no worries there at all. We'll have you visit a nearby Lake Urgent Care location, and then once you arrive, you actually skip that wait since you've already started that visit online. So it's just all about flexibility and keeping care moving at your pace.
And when you have those times where you kind of know what's going on with your own body, right? That's kind of the follow-up there. We got Kyron Miner from Lake Urgent Care on with us. Let's talk a little bit about MyChart. How does MyChart help patients care smarter along the way?
Yeah, so MyChart is like having your entire health file in your back pocket. You can see all of your health records on there from not only Lake Urgent Care, but Our Lady of the Lake. Nothing gets lost or repeated, so all of your documentation is in one place, and it just makes it easy to check lab results or pay bills online or even print vaccination records when you need them quickly. And then my favorite part is that you can also manage healthcare for your kids or family members, which is really essential for those busy parents and caregivers.
Okay, now cross that over to the when and the why to use Lake Urgent Care. How can folks keep up with the services that y'all offer and the updates you've got going on?
Yep, great question. So our website is a great first stop. It's super easy to navigate, and all of our primary services are front and center on there. We're also very active on our social media accounts, so you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok. We share reminders about services, seasonal health tips, and updates about all of our clinics. And we encourage everyone to follow us so they don't miss anything new. And then if technology isn't your best friend, we completely understand. Always feel free to give one of our clinics a call and ask any questions that you may have or just ask during your visit.
Speaking of that, whoever was involved in putting that video together with Gordy should be up for an award. Should be up for an award because
it was great.
The phrase "Gordy needs supervision" needs to just be on repeat at this point. That was so good. Got just a minute or two left with Kyron. Let's talk about taking that care smarter and wrapping it around into your bigger mission at Lake Urgent Care.
Yeah. So all these tools from online check-in to MyChart and virtual visit, they're built around the idea of making healthcare more convenient and accessible. We just want patients to care smarter, not harder, and then getting the care that they need without the extra stress or wasted time. And then just speaking to that convenience, we're open 7 days a week and treating patients as young as 3 months old. We also offer those specialty services like we mentioned earlier, such as the weight loss program, occupational health. We also are in the season of doing sports physicals right now. So we just meet a wide range of needs. And at the end of the day, we're just here to help our community stay healthy and make life just a little bit easier for everyone.
Give us the website for the home base so folks can find your locations one more time.
Absolutely. You can find us at lakeurgentcare.com.
LakeUrgentCare.com. She is Kyron Miner, the Director of Marketing over there at Lake Urgent Care. But talking a little bit about caring smarter, not harder. Kyron, thank you so much for a couple minutes this morning.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We got ABC News coming up in just a little bit. We will have hour 2 on the way next. State Representative Gabe Firment going to be in the House next hour, as will Patrick Gremillion, host of the Patty G Show. We'll talk a little business there. Before we get out for this hour, I want to remind you about the Louisiana Business Weekly podcast. This is your source for the latest in Louisiana's business landscape. I'm the host, but it's definitely not my show. It is proudly presented by the folks over at Currency Bank. In fact, Scott Godin from Currency Bank was the guest on the show 2 episodes ago. You could find that at talk1073.com. You can find it anywhere you get your podcasts, really. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Catch every episode at talk1073.com. It's Louisiana Business Weekly. Quick break, news, traffic, weather. Hour 2's next. Marco. All right, so anybody who's been to Natchitoches, where's the best place for chicken wings in Natchitoches? That's what I think Abby's going to want for lunch tomorrow. So, I don't want authentic Mexican cuisine. Wait a minute. Gabe Firment is from Natchitoches. I think so. .705 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. John LaBeouf producing. We are starting off your second hour. Let's get a check of that temperature. 74 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Although you heard that forecast from Balin right there, it is going to be a hot one before it's all said and done today, and we are going to see some chances of rain. Although I got to tell you, I'm looking at one thing and one thing in particular when it comes to the rain today. Can we get it out of here before 7 p.m.? It's looking like early afternoon. Early afternoon is where we're going to get those rainstorms, those showers that roll through. Why am I looking at 7 p.m.? Rougarou game, baby. That's what we're talking about. We'll be out there for it. Hope to see you out there tonight. I'll be out there for the first couple innings at least to see the Rougarou take on the Acadiana Cane Cutters. All right. Busy second hour. We have State Representative Gabe Firment joining us in our next segment. We got Patty G in the house before the hour's over, but right now we'll start your second hour with top stories and trending.
Number 5.
Earlier this week, the mayor of Killian, Louisiana, was looking at the budget, trying to figure out where to make some cuts, and said, you know what? Let's see if we can swing a year without a police department. The town of Killian might be without their police for the next year. Former police chief Tim Henderson says the Killian Police Department currently includes just 3 people, the chief and 2 officers. So this is just this side of Mayberry. He says the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office already handles 60 to 70% of the calls in Killian.
Number 4.
Louisiana State Supreme Court agreed to suspend Baton Rouge lawyer and previous city judge candidate Niles Hamer for 3 years after investigating allegations stemming from, quote, neglecting multiple legal matters, including owing restitution to clients.
Number 3.
Amid disturbing revelations that have emerged about the top pick to develop a new $400 million arena for LSU, stakeholders are planning a due diligence review to determine the future status of the project. A statement from LSU athletic spokesman Zach Greenwell yesterday afternoon said all parties involved are, quote, evaluating the implications on the potential arena project in Baton Rouge, considering this week's news regarding Oakview Group.
Number 2.
A Denham Springs man arrested on various sex crimes charges now faces nearly 60 counts of child pornography as well. This would be 31-year-old Kevin Hamby. He was arrested in May on indecent behavior with a juvenile and computer-aided solicitation of a minor charges. After a, quote, thorough forensic evaluation of Hamby's digital media, Livingston Parish deputies added 57 counts of possession of pornography involving juveniles.
Number 1.
In the process of entering a plea to spend the rest of his life in prison on Thursday, Matthew Meyer gave a beat-by-beat breakdown of his account of the deaths of a Louisiana State Police trooper and a woman across 3 parishes. The 35-year-old Meyer was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences, as well as nearly 350 years for the October 2021 killings of Master Trooper Adam Gobert and Pamela Adair following Thursday's plea in a Gonzales courtroom. What's trending, John?
Well, it's been a week since the flash floods ravaged the Guadalupe River in Texas. The death toll is over 120, and roughly 160 people remain missing.
It's going to be a rough couple weeks because they're just going to keep finding as the water clears out, because it's like you have search parties could well have like boated over the top of people, you know?
Yeah.
It's going to be a second, third, fourth look. We will check in next week with Brian Trasher from the United Cajun Navy. They got a smaller role in this, but they do have a role in this. When we checked in with Brian, was that Tuesday or Wednesday morning? It was Tuesday morning, wasn't it?
Tuesday, yes.
When we checked in with him on Tuesday morning, the United Cajun Navy had found 10 bodies.
Yes.
And I believe that number went up to 11 before noon that day. I can't fathom where they're at right now, just because it's not just bodies, it's children.
Yeah.
It's whole families.
That's the gut-wrenching part about it all.
It absolutely is.
In other news, 35% tariffs is what Canada could be facing in the latest from the White House.
No, I'm fine with it. Look,
yeah, why not?
We go through this. We go through this with every round of tariffs or tariff talks. They're not. No one's batting 100 here. Nobody's batting 1,000 here. Excuse me. Wow, that'd be terrible. No one's batting 1,000 here. Okay, when it all comes down to it. Ooh, let me let Representative Firment in.
Okay. Yeah.
When it all comes down to it, each individual one is going to get a different look.
Yes.
So.
Yep. And we were talking last hour, right? I mean, what are we really relying on as far as Canada is concerned, and what they're importing us? Of course, there's
timber. Timber's the big one here. But we do timber in Louisiana.
That we do.
We should be able to do that pretty well. We should be able to make up that ground. Other than that, what are we talking? Crown Royal?
Yeah. Maybe some syrup, some maple syrup.
I'm fine drinking my JT Mellick whiskey, okay? Yeah. I'll take another Louisiana product over Canada's product any day.
All right, yeah. In other news, tonight is Talk 107.3 night at Pete Goolsbee Field for the Baton Rouge Rougarou game.
Let's go. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. We're going to break down the roster. We're going to break down the team. We're going to break down the festivities with Ronnie Rantz coming up at 8:15. Right now, though, at 7:11 at Talk 107.3 FM, we are due up for a quick break. Before we take that break, I want to remind you about the folks over at Breck. Breck.org is the home base online. Breck.org is where you're going to find them online. What are you going to find when you get there? You're going to find the facilities. You're going to find the events. You're going to find the whole calendar. Whatever it is you're into, they've got you covered. Whether you're talking about pickleball, golf, basketball, equestrian, whether you're talking about ceramics or pottery or dance classes, they've got you covered. Start it off at Breck.org. Get to know their facilities, get to know their people, get to know a little bit about what they do. I always talk about how they have to be all things to all people, and they do it somehow. They pull it off. And it starts at Breck.org. Quick break. Gabe Firment's next. Am I right? Is Natchitoches the corner of your district? Okay. They're terrible. Like, that's the place right there. Well, yeah, absolutely. That's the staple right there. Yeah. I had him on the other day. Damn it. I love this city. This city's awesome. It's just a perfect old city. It's like an old tiny city, and the campus is awesome, and it's just the interstate exit is just it's a nothing. They're putting up like 100-room hotels and whatnot, and they just finished that roundabout. The roundabout's actually nice. But yeah, it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, nice. Nice. All right. C-ball? We'll see. Kidding. 714, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. I've been saying it seemingly every day. We are nowhere near done unpacking the legislative session. It has, well, as of tomorrow, it will be officially have been a month since the session ended. And them boys got a lot done. So we're going to continue to talk about it until we've talked to just about every legislator who got something across the finish line. The guy sitting next to me right now got a lot across the finish line. State Representative Gabe Firment had a busy session. He's with us now. How are you, man?
I'm good. Had a chance to decompress a little bit. Been out on the tractor and fishing, and yes, doesn't seem like it's been a month though.
No, I mean, as of tomorrow, it will be. So tomorrow's the 12th, and y'all had to gavel out on the 12th. So let's start with the overall view of the session before we get into some of the work that you did personally. Obviously, there was a focus on insurance the whole way through, and this crossover with some of your stuff too. But give the session overall a letter grade, if you could.
Well, and I'm going to stick to insurance. Of course, I'm chairman of the House Insurance Committee, and it's all relative. And the last time I was here with you, I believe it was me and Representative Chenevert 3 days before session.
It was,
and
yes.
And if we would have known then how many good insurance reform bills we were going to actually get passed and signed into law, we would have been ecstatic.
Yeah.
And so, of course, there's a tendency, I think, to focus on some of the stuff that did not pass. But, I mean, when you look at Representative Chenevert's modified comparative fault bill and DeWitt's no pay, no play, of course, Mellon's bill to repeal the Housley presumption, when it comes to insurance reform, I'd give us a solid B, because there is some things that I sure would have liked to have seen passed that didn't make it through the Senate for the most part. But all in all, very pleased. And look, I think when the dust settles, we've got to recognize that really some of the bills we passed were historic in nature.
Oh yeah, and not just on the insurance front. There was more than a handful of others to go along with that, and the work that got done. And I had Jack McFarland on the other day. The work that got done on the budget, I think, deserves a huge pat on the back as well, because drafting the budget this year after the failure of CA2 to come back around and not have to just throw everything back in it, to not just throw up your hands and say I quit. To me, that in and of itself was huge.
Well, I think so, and I think Chairman McFarland deserves a lot of credit. It was a responsible budget. I mean, essentially a standstill budget when it comes to state general fund, but again, also just record investments in infrastructure again. And so, no, I think from a budget perspective, it was very successful, especially in light of the constitutional amendment to, not getting across the finish line and just the uncertainty around that whole situation.
Yeah, we got State Representative Gabe Firment in with us. Let's get into your work in the session a little bit. You did you got a number of bills signed off on by the governor, but I want to start with one that actually, the way it's written here, became law without the governor's signature. What's that one all about?
Yes, so I believe that's House Bill 437, and probably the most important bill that I passed. Kind of flew under the radar, although I think going into session, Commissioner Temple identified this bill as his number one priority outside of some of the pure tort reform bills. And so it's kind of a big, comprehensive bill that did several things. One of the things it did, and this came straight out of these special committee meetings that we had over a period of several months, and we heard time after time people would come to the table and say, look, I had to hire an attorney. I didn't want to, but I hired an attorney because the insurance company wouldn't take care of my rental vehicle. They weren't getting my vehicle repaired quickly enough. So one provision of this bill increases penalties against insurance companies when they don't promptly pay for a rental vehicle or repairs to a vehicle. That goes for the first party claimant, for the policyholder, as well as for a third party claimant. So that's a big part of the bill. Another big thing it did, it allows insurance companies to require a written proof of loss to more or less start the clock on resolving the claim or on paying the claim. And the feedback we got from some of the reinsurance companies and some of the underwriters in London after the property reforms that we passed last year, they loved it, but they said there's still too much ambiguity when it comes to the proof of loss,
Right.
and so that ambiguity and uncertainty creates chaos and opens the door for lawsuits to be filed. So this is going to streamline and clarify the claims handling process.
Okay, so I want to talk about this because it's two different fronts there. Your proof of loss in a car accident is a lot easier to prove than with your homeowner's insurance, but this covers both, does it not?
So it's the proof of loss provision is specific to property.
Okay,
It's specific to property.
So that, to me, that feels tougher to prove. Because the contents of your house that accumulates over years and years and years, and not all of it has to be replaceable, right? So what is necessary? What constitutes proof of loss?
Well, and so prior to this law going into effect, proof of loss could have been just a number written on a Post-it note,
Right.
and so that was not sufficient. That's not adequate to. We shouldn't expect the insurance company to honor that as proof of the claim. Okay, so what this does is a very simple one-page form, and it just asks for very basic information like the date the loss occurred, what structures were damaged, do you have damage to personal property. So it's not, we are going to ask the policyholder to put a number, a value on that claim, but it doesn't lock you in at that number. All it does is this is a starting point. This allows the homeowner the opportunity to document his loss, and it allows the insurance company. It gives it does set a value. It gives them a starting point to begin to analyze the loss and to establish what the proper payment is. So it just brings so much clarity to the process that we just don't have now.
Okay. Instantly I'm putting myself back in 2016 when Baton Rouge flooded, right? And I don't know how to accumulate proof of loss for everything that was in the house because we had so much stuff in the house. Like, okay, you got the sofa and the living room set and all this, but I don't have receipts for all that. So how am I proving not just loss? I can prove loss because I can take pictures of the whole pile of garbage out by the street, right? But I can't prove what I paid for it, so I can't put a dollar amount on it.
Yeah, and so what this does, really the intent here is to more or less start the clock and set reasonable expectations for payment. No, I was very clear, and look, we negotiated this with the Trial Lawyers Association, and there was a lot of back and forth, and I was very clear that I was not going to agree to anything that created an undue burden on the homeowner, and it. Look, I think this is very favorable to the homeowner.
Good stuff. We got State Representative Gabe Firment in with us. That was 437. You also authored 436. Tell me about this one. Prohibits an award of general damages and past and future wages for unauthorized aliens in an automobile accident.
Yeah, and 436 was part of the governor's package, and one of the first
this
bills.
one he did sign, yes.
He signed it. One of the first ones that he signed. I believe it became Act 17. Very simple. Although I do think we're the first ones in the country to pass this legislation. It just says if you're here illegally and you get in a car wreck, you're not entitled to recover damages for things like anxiety and mental anguish and lost wages. Simple as that.
So the anxiety and mental anguish, and that's, to me, it's the lost wages part is the biggest no-brainer of this whole thing. You shouldn't have those wages anyway because you're not here legally.
That's right.
I mean, you're still a person, so anxiety and mental anguish, you're still a person, but you're not here legally. You shouldn't be earning legally. So how could you lose wages you're not that are supposed to be off the books anyway?
Yeah, no, it's a no-brainer.
Right.
It's just common sense. And look, so there's still you can still recover for your medical bills, for property damage, but it'd be ridiculous to say that a non-citizen has a constitutional right to recover lost wages, pain and suffering. So, and actually, I think it's got the potential to have a real impact. We probably have somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 claims a year in the state from illegal aliens. Although just by the very nature of being undocumented, it's hard to quantify that exactly. But going to be pretty significant in reducing the number of bodily injury claims.
Got just a couple minutes left here with State Representative. I got about 6 minutes left with State Representative Gabe Firment. Keeping on that run, you had a run there on the insurance front. You went 436, 437, and then 438, talking about advertising expenses and prohibiting the use of certain expenses in settling insurance rates. What's that bill all about?
Yeah, and so this bill was part of the governor's package, part of the commissioner's package, and one of the things we want to do was to have a balanced approach. We want, we wanted to have tort reform, but we also want to have consumer-friendly reforms as part of our package, and this is very consumer-friendly. And what it says is that insurance companies are not going to be able to use these silly, non-informative, non-educational advertisements to justify their expenses, to justify increasing their rate. So it's going to remove those silly little advertisements from rate making.
Were they, or is this just precautionary? Were they using it as such, or is this just
Oh,
a
yeah, they
precautionary
are.
measure?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, look, just turn on the TV. You can see
What?
you can see some of it,
No,
and
yeah,
so
well, you turn on the TV, you see both sides back and forth all day long. So
yes, you do. And of course, unfortunately, we had hoped when we were putting this package together to have an attorney advertising bill and an insurer advertising bill.
Mhm.
Of course, my bill, the insurer advertising bill, got across the finish line. Representative Carver's bill did not. But look, so hopefully, I'm not going to say that it's going to make a huge difference in lowering rates. It's a piece of the puzzle, and also hopefully this will incentivize insurance companies to make sure their advertising is informative and serves a real public benefit.
yes, absolutely. State Representative Gabe Firment is with us. Let's move from your insurance bills to, I'm really curious what HB 176 was all about. This is another one signed off on by the governor. It says provides relative to regulation of certain hallucinogenic chemicals. What is that about?
Yes, so Sheriff Stephen McCain from Grant Parish, which is my home parish, came into my office one day a couple months before session started with body cam footage and a whole sack of what looked to be candy, M&Ms and gummies and candy bars, but it wasn't candy. It was what appeared to be candy infused with these chemical derivatives of psychedelic mushrooms, and obviously marketed to children in convenience stores and vape shops, covered in sugar, brightly colored. And you could just walk into a convenience store in Grant Parish or Rapides. Like some of these products were manufactured in Baton Rouge, so we've got these hallucinogenic products being packaged as candy, being sold to children, all across the state. And this one young man on the body cam had a very severe reaction to one of these candy bars. I mean, almost passed away, honestly. And so this bill simply makes it illegal to distribute or possess those products.
I'm shocked it wasn't already.
I am too. But look, the bad guys stay one step ahead of us.
Oh, of course.
And so we already had laws against some of the mushrooms themselves, but these are actually derivatives, including synthetic derivatives of these psychedelic mushrooms. So, look, we've just got to be vigilant and stay on top of our game and keep these products off the store shelves.
Before we get out of here, and I really appreciate you stopping in this morning. Before you get out of here, where do you go from here? Walk me through the process as a state legislator. Walk me through the process of, do you review what didn't cross the finish line last time and how you're going to go back at it again? Or is it, wipe the slate clean and go back out to the constituents and see what they want? Or is it some kind of a mixture of the two? Where do you go from here?
Yes. So, look, I think this mentality that we only do tort reform or insurance reform once a decade or once every 30 years or whatever, we've got to get away from that. And our mindset has to be, we want to continue to make reforms, consumer reforms, reforms that hold insurance companies accountable, reforms that hold trial lawyers accountable. We need to be doing this every year, because I can tell you, Florida, Georgia, Texas, South Carolina, we're in competition with those states.
Absolutely.
And they are not standing still. And I want to make my district and Louisiana the best state to build a business, to raise a family, and we can only do that if we continue to get better. So, I think we've got to take a serious look at where we failed, and even where we were successful, we've got to continue to do better.
Absolutely. He is State Representative Gabe Firment. Last one before I get you out of here. Part of your district is Natchitoches. Best place for chicken wings in Natchitoches is where? I know you're known for meat pies, but best place for chicken wings is where?
Best place for chicken wings.
I'm going to pick up my daughter from camp, and I know she's going to want chicken wings on the way home tomorrow. So we'll be coming back down from she goes to camp about an hour east of Shreveport in Texas. So we're going to come through Shreveport, then down. We'll hit Natchitoches about lunchtime. So where am I going for wings?
Well, now, look, you've got me on wings, but what I would say is right off the interstate, you can find Nikki's Mexican restaurant.
Okay. I know exactly where that's at.
Yes,
University Parkway.
Yep. You got to stop at Nikki's. I'll have to get back with you on the wings, but I heard your comments about the convenience store meat pies. Come on now. If you're that close to Lassion's, you've got to go to Lassion's.
I understand. But, like, if you're coming through Opelousas or Crotch Springs, you could stop at Billy's and get awesome boudin. Natchitoches is known for the meat pies, and, like, I'm right there. I want the best right at my fingertips. That interstate. You said that's Representative McFarland's district?
That's McFarland's district.
We got to get on him. I need more out of that.
Well,
exit.
How about a Buc-ee's?
This is what I'm saying. I'm going to get – so Ronnie Rantz is coming on later on. We're blowing right past ABC News, by the way. Ronnie Rantz is coming on later on to talk about the Rougarou, but he also heads up the Sports Hall of Fame. So, I'm on him. I'm going to get on him to get on y'all. To let's get Buc-ee's going to that Natchitoches exit.
I like it. And you can also remind Rantz that when he was at Menard and I was at Tioga, remind him of that dinger there at Menard.
Uh-oh. I like where this is going.
He may not remember that because it didn't happen, but you could remind him of that anyway.
All right. Done and done. He is State Representative Gabe Firment. Thank you so much
thank you, Brian.
Great segment right there. News, traffic, weather. Patty G's next. Oh, that was awesome.
Although we did put it on pretty good.
Yeah. So, my claim to fame was in high school. I played against Todd McClure.
Okay, yeah.
Central had a run where they won 4 straight state championships, and one of them where they played us in the semifinals. Man, I come around. They had 2 of us. I was on second, and my buddy Paul was on third. Ball gets hit to left field. Paul comes around to score. I'm coming from second around to score. I run into Todd McClure, and the next thing I know, I'm just flat on the ground.
Right, so he played at LSU, huh?
Yeah, he played center for LSU.
Okay.
His brother Trey played baseball.
That's right.
And he's at the Falcons Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So, I ran into a brick wall that day.
It's funny how people like me and you will never forget that.
Right.
Like Russ Springer. You remember Russ?
Yeah.
And so I got a little bloop single off Russ Springer when he was a senior and I was a freshman. Highlighted my sports career.
Yeah, and I'm sure he doesn't even.
Of course not.
No.
Of course not.
No.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Always, Gabe. Thank you so much. I'll be back in 1 second.
All good. You're going to change your shirt? Yes, I am. You want to put Rougarou on?
Yep.
Gotta love coming into Jurassic Park. Oh. You might want to have somebody come and clean these air vents. Just a suggestion. That looks kind of funky. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Maybe that explains what's going on with Brian in his head. I'm telling you. That's funky, man. Love how both the TVs there are not supposed to be turned off or off. There you go.
Yup.
Rocking it, man. I was just saying, y'all need to get somebody in here to clean your air vents, dude.
Why?
Are you blind?
I'll look up. Who looks up?
I mean, every now and again, you probably should.
Well, we have people that are supposed to do that. I'll get them on.
I'm just walking up in here and just looking up at the ceiling, checking things out. Sure enough, we got some black mold up there.
George.
Olivia Grace George.
She's our Miss Louisiana from
Rocco today? Foodie Friday?
Chef Peter Sclafani going to be in the house.
When's he
We're
coming?
having bavetta steak, which is kind of like a flank, but a little bit leaner,
Mm-hmm.
with chimichurri on top of it. And we might be having some mojitos.
All right.
I know.
8 a.m. in the morning, baby.
Yeah, you know.
You don't start then. When can you start?
You can't say you've been drinking all day if you don't start in the morning.
That's right. Wooter? Who's Wooter?
I don't know. I don't ask questions. They give me a jersey and I put it on.
23? Oh, it's like a sure enough Haldane. Hey-o.
Yeah. I'm not wearing another man's jersey. No. A grown-ass man.
Wear another man's jersey.
I've never understood that. I understand kids wearing grown-ups jerseys.
You never understood a grown man wearing a grown man's jersey?
I see it all the time.
You never had like a Breeze jersey?
No, I have a Saints polo, a couple Saints t-shirts.
So you never wore jerseys to games?
No, not unless my name's on it.
So what's the beef?
I'm not getting called out of the stands to go play.
So now you are.
I threw out the first pitch. They gave me that.
Oh. Okay. So you had to earn it. All right, that's different. I thought they were just like, here, Brian, have a jersey.
No.
Okay. So you had to
Me
earn
and Moon
it.
both threw out the first pitch of the game last year.
Moon Griffon?
Yeah. I was low and outside. He needed a cutoff man.
Got it.
Yeah.
I need to text Moon.
You know Moon?
My dad went to high school with him.
No shit.
Played basketball together.
At Redemptress?
Uh-huh.
He'll be in studio on the 22nd if you want to swing on by.
Checking in with you about the show. Sitting here with Brian Haldane. Yeah, no, he and my dad are real close.
Does he have an open? We didn't do that yet, did we? That's got to happen soon.
Was that you or the song making that noise?
That was him.
That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
737 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane. Rolling right along. Time to talk a little business. Time to welcome Patrick Gremillion into the show. Welcome back, brother. How are you?
Good morning, Brian. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing very well. First of all, I want to thank you for being flexible with the schedule.
Of course.
You're normally the first Friday of the month, but the first Friday of the month this month, we were celebrating our nation's independence.
We were a little patriotic.
And we're also a little tipsy by this time. No, it's still early.
7:30? No,
No.
but the bloodies were being poured.
Yes.
Yeah, you're mixing them up, getting them ready.
We weren't poolside yet, hadn't fired up the grill yet.
That's
You know,
right.
that was
That's
all
right.
later on in the day.
Yeah, the cup of coffee was done for me. I was about to put kids in swimsuits, start sunscreening them up, and pouring out the bloodies. So
Yeah,
I
I didn't sunscreen until it was too late. So
why? You should know your skin complexion desires sunscreen.
No,
to survive.
100%. I don't tan. I burn. I burn
Right.
instantly too.
Yes.
It's instant. Here's the thing though. Like I was working the grill for the first like two and a half hours where I was out there. So I'm not in the pool. I still got a shirt on. I got a hat on. I'm underneath the covered awning or whatever. So like I thought I was good to go. I was like I'll sunscreen up as soon as I'm ready to pivot from cooking to swimming.
Right.
And yeah,
You learned the definition of redneck.
Very, very much so. Red arms,
red
red shoulders, red neck. Yeah.
So is this at Terra?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you doing for 2.5 hours on the grill?
Well, so we had the boudin party links. We had some alligator sausage. I had a bunch of chicken go on there. What else did we do?
And you're cooking for the whole pool or your family?
No,
I mean,
the
like
family.
Okay.
Well, we finished the leftovers yesterday. Look, here's my thing. If I'm firing it up,
you just assume cooking.
Yes. Yeah. Why is it meal prep is cool, but if I throw a ton of meat on the grill to make it through a full week. That's not.
I see no problem with that.
Okay, then.
I'm all about the leftover life.
Yes.
I just, share a grill for the rest of us at the pool, man.
Well, no. There's
2.5 hours.
Hang on. I brought
Were
my
they
own
wait?
out. I brought my own
okay.
out there.
All right. I thought you were using what was there.
No,
and you're going to line
no.
of people behind you with their burgers just getting beyond room temp. You know?
I stopped off at the Dollar General to get one of those $20 like square ones.
The little red top grills.
Yeah. Me and Bowman Gutner put that thing together like in no time, man. It comes in a little box. We put it together in no time, had it fired up, ready to go.
Whole bag of charcoal, just
half a bag. But yeah.
Half a bag.
Yeah.
It's 2.5, like, you didn't even, weren't even smoking anything. You were just straight grilling.
Pull something off, put something on. The real estate was limited. The grill space was very limited.
What do you have, 12 square inches?
That's 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit more. You cook a burger in half at a time? Half a sausage
Oh,
link?
we did hot dogs, too. But hot dogs...
Who are you feeding?
We take like 3 minutes, so...
I mean, so you just, it was an intentional cook for the week. It was not an intentional cook for the day.
I mean, you're letting my secrets out there, but yeah.
But just, Brian, cat's out of the bag. People were at terror. Come on, they saw what you were doing.
Yeah.
They saw you walk. They saw you walk up with an ice chest of meat, and they're like, "Well, Brian's got his meat this morning."
To be fair, though, we all share.
Okay.
So there's a little like, "Oh, what you got going on?" I'm like, "Bro, I got some alligator sausage I picked up from Best Stop." You know, like that. It's
more community than
a little bit more
just
community.
the Haldane family consuming 40 pounds of meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot better.
No, there's a lot of sharing going on.
Okay. Okay. You should lead with that.
I have to explain myself.
I mean, you're ready to go throw a baseball game over here. I'm just curious what's going on, Brian.
So I had to sweat. I'm done with like the week, right? So I'm in the baseball jersey now, ready to roll for the Ruger game.
Do they play tonight?
Do you listen to the station when you're not here at all, ever?
I do on the way.
It's Talk 107.3 night out at Pete Goldsby Field as the Rougarou are welcoming in the Acadiana Cane Cutters. Coming up at 8:15, we'll have Ronnie Rantz on the show to preview the game and the night's festivities.
I just wanted to tee you up there so you could hit one out of the park, Brian.
Which I did in the previous segment. Thanks for listening. All right, we got business to talk. Topic, what makes a great leader in 2025? I love this. You sent over like a top 10 list. Yeah. Let's break it down. What makes a great leader in 2025?
Well, obviously, you kind of led with it. There's 10 things that they talked about in the Baton Rouge Business Report. Interviewed 10 different owners, CEOs, kind of getting their feel back, and it's something I've had to, figure out and do research on and reflect to figure out how to do that for my own organization. As we're hiring people, it's like no longer in that position of being an employee, but now an owner. And so it's how do I lead the team to be the best way to go? And the first one coming in from Adam Berry is the vision, right? So he's telling us the ability to craft a vision. It is as simple as the old adage that without vision, people perish. You're responsible for energizing the people who follow you.
Okay. So I want to clarify right there. When we talk about being a leader, we're not talking necessarily C-suite. The entire team.
Right. Yeah.
This is top to bottom. So it's not just the boss working top down.
100%.
This is about the collab, as it were.
It's collab. It is, if you're in a group setting, working on a group project, whether it's, you're the lowest of the low, you have to have some form of leadership for folks to work with you and want to follow you, right? Because if you're not leading with purpose, you're not leading with at least some ideals, you're not really leading at all. You're kind of just walking by yourself.
And this sells, too. And this is an important part of this, Patrick. It sells in that if you don't have the leader with the vision, the potential client's going to see that.
100%.
Because it's going to show up in the pitch.
It's going to show up in the pitch, and if you show up and you don't have this forward approach, you're really just not setting any form of tone for where you're going to go. And it's tougher for people to get behind you. Right. Whether you are in the C-suite or you're a manager or even you're just a project leader, somebody has to be able to say, hey, here's the goal. Here's our vision of where we want to be, where we want to go, for people to say, yeah, I can rally behind that.
Adrienne Owen-Jones over at Success Labs, which she's awesome, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Points out curiosity being number 2 on the list. She says, I believe the most important quality for a leader is curiosity. Curiosity is the spark that ignites innovation and connection. What are your takeaways on that?
My takeaways are having curiosity. It kind of brings it back to that Amazon show with the soccer team.
Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso. Where he's in the scene in the bar with Rupert, and he's throwing.
Be curious, not judgmental.
Be curious, not judgmental, right? So that thing, be curious. If you were curious, you would have asked him, Ted, do you play a lot of darts? And he would have said, yes, sir. Every year for 15 years with my old man in a pub. Every week for 15 years with my old man in a pub, right? So if you don't have that level of curiosity, whether you're client-facing or you're team-facing, to ask a question, and you just see somebody doing something without asking them, hey, what's going on today? Do you have a problem? There's something going on in your personal life? Or, hey, you're a client. Let me ask you some questions just to get better answers. If you don't have that curiosity spark to ask and you just tell, you're going to end up going nowhere, or worse, recommending the wrong solution.
Right. Like we all learned earlier in the week, if you're drunk on a golf course in Canada, you want to be curious about who it is you're about to fight. Have you seen that video?
This story.
Oh,
what is this story?
Okay, when we get in a break, I'll show you the video.
Okay.
I'll show you the video. Oh, man. Drunk Canadians. One of them was an enforcer in the NHL.
What?
Oh, throws a guy in a lake. It's terribly.
Oh, you got me curious, Brian.
See? Yeah, if that guy had been more curious, he wouldn't have gotten his tuchus whooped.
No, and it kind of spills over into the Patty G show, right? If I'm not curious, I'm not going to be able to have a good show to ask people questions, right? And so sitting there, if they say, oh, I'm Brian Haldane, I wear a jersey. If I'm like, okay, cool, great. But if I'm not curious to why you wore the jersey, where it came from, I'm going to learn nothing from you. And I'm just going to judge you for wearing another man's jersey.
No, it's my jersey. My name's on the back of it. It's my name on the back of the jersey.
Sure, man.
All right.
Whatever you say.
Can you not read?
No, I can't.
This is not debatable.
You proved it. I see it. I got it.
Okay, so it's not whatever I say.
Haldane, you got it. I see it.
Curiosity doesn't stop either. That's the other part of this.
No, we can never know everything, right? We can think we do, but we don't.
What I'm saying is you're talking about your show.
Yeah.
That's every interview. Every interview is the curiosity doesn't stop at the show prep because you learn things in the conversation.
Absolutely.
The greatest interviewers ever talk about that. They learn more during the conversation than they do in the prep time.
Yeah.
So.
And you have to have, we'll get to another quality down here later about it. It's actually number 4, right? To be properly curious, you have to be able to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't listen, you can't continue on that curiosity to say, wait a minute, I didn't know this about you. If I've got guests that it's all I talk about or just what I've learned in the show prep, and I don't figure out and become a little bit more curious while we're talking, we're going to have a very short conversation.
The quote on listening says there's always something to learn if we are paying attention. That comes from, the CEO of Landmark Bank. That's what you get from Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website if you want to check them out. Learn where their branches are. They've been a community bank since 1897, dude. You don't survive that long unless you're listening. They're sponsors of the show. We say it all the time. Don't just have a bank, have a banker.
Right.
Someone you could talk to, and when you talk to them, they're listening. Does that count as the live read, or I got to do it later?
I was about to say, we just hit the live read.
That's not until later on in the show. But listening is an unbelievably important quality because listening is different than waiting to talk. And the number of people who wait to talk is just infuriating.
Right. They're sitting there like already prepped with what they're going to say rather than listening to exactly what you're trying to say. And more so active listening, not just passively listening while you're going through your head. Okay, I got to get groceries. I got to get this afterwards. Okay, I'm going to follow up.
Well, that's not listening at all, though.
Well, you're like you're listening, but you're not engaged. Unless you shut your ears off somehow.
I don't know. To me, if you got other things going on, you're not even. Yeah, if you're not paying attention, you're not listening. We got Patrick Gremillion with us. We're about 2 minutes from a break, minute and a half from a break. Let's touch on emotional intelligence before we hit the break.
Yeah, so emotional intelligence comes from Hunter Cerrito, president of X Design. So he says it's that gut instinct of knowing when to push, knowing when to pull, walking into a room and instantly knowing the tone. This is huge for leaders, employees. If you walk into a room that your boss says, hey, let's have an afternoon meeting at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you come in and you're thinking it's going to be positive, and you walk in there and you can just immediately tell, oh, this is not a positive tone. We're got to work through a problem or something. And more so for, CPA side of my world, if I'm meeting with families and I can tell there's something going on between the family and I'm trying to be the mediator between the two of them, you got to be able to pay attention to see who's coming in hot, who's coming in cold, and who really just doesn't want to be here. And it's like a tightrope you have to walk.
Ties back into the. I'm big on the ideal team player.
Yeah.
Ideal team player. That the emotional intelligence is a big. That's the smart and the humble, hungry, smart.
Mm-hmm.
That's it plays well. We got about 10 seconds until break, so I'm just going to tee this up. Number 5 on your list here is integrity. When we come back from the break, that's where we'll pick it up. He's Patrick Gremillion. We talk business culture about this time once a month right here on Talk 107.3.
All right, let me see these Canadians.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see these Canadians.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
No, it's F-bomb after F-bomb after F-bomb. It's get the fuck off the course, man.
What? In the most. Please. Now, I've played golf with some Canadians in Louisiana, and they're super nice on the golf course.
They're super nice everywhere.
Until they're not. The guy steals maple syrup or something.
Why is this not?
You connected to Bluetooth somewhere?
No. See this guy right here? The guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
He thinks he's a tough guy.
They just hammered.
Called the shot. I'm going to throw him in the leg.
Oh, jeez.
Off to a good start, buddy.
This guy can't even stand up.
No.
Just waylaying him. That dude, he's still coming. You got to give him resilience.
Yeah. I give him nothing.
Oh, man. This dude is, why would you bow up to that guy?
Because he wasn't curious. He wasn't curious. He said, I'm going to whip this guy's ass. And he goes, oh, yeah, before you fight.
He had to get the blood to his muscles. You know, he had to activate him.
Your boy's coming back for more.
He's still coming back?
I've never seen that one-sided of a fight before.
That's what happens when you drink too much of that Canadian ale, man.
Bro, and like,
why? What
he said,
I'm
gonna throw you in the lake. And he does. He throws him in the lake.
I mean, he told you what he was going to do.
Right.
You can't fault the guy for following through. I love. He's like, He's calling every shot.
That's got to be so demoralizing, right?
You're just sitting there, bang, bang. I've had not some serious run-ins on the golf course, but a guy like raise his hybrid and like throw it at you,
Yeah, I mean,
I've had that.
yes.
But just play quicker.
But my thing's a play quicker or let him play through.
That's the thing. Let me play through.
So I'm out on the golf course for two reasons: either to play golf or to dick around.
Right.
And I know the difference between the two. And if I'm just out there to get hammered and dick around, dude, it gives me more time to drink. And I'm gonna make fun of your shot while you go, and it's gonna be fun and funny. I'm not out here to make enemies.
Yeah.
756 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We're talking business with Patrick Gremillion, host of the Patty G Show. We were talking a little bit about what makes for a good leader, and there was a top 10 in the business report. We were breaking those down. Patrick, we're not going to get to all of them, dude, because we got 4 minutes left.
4 minutes.
4 minutes left.
Jeez,
and,
we can cover one a minute.
Basically, well, okay, integrity, go.
All right, so integrity, right? Trust is earned over time, and it's under pressure. Trouble with trust, it can be broken in an instant, unless you have some trust equity built up with them.
Right.
And you own it, right? You make a mistake, you own it. That's part of trust. You go to the people, say, hey, look, I messed up, but here's my plan to fix it. Don't do something, mess up, and then wait till they find out to then resolve the issue. Be forthcoming and forward with it.
I think my favorite on the list comes from Seth Irby, the Chief Strategy Officer at LWCC. Talk about purpose.
Dude.
People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it. But your why is everything.
Yeah. Know your why.
Yeah.
Know your why. If you don't know your why, what's going to make you get out of bed every morning?
No, totally.
Like, if you lose that purpose,
yeah,
lose yourself.
I tell you, in the Louisiana Business Weekly podcast, we had Jordan Generous from Neurojust on in the most recent episode, and everything changed in that conversation when he started talking about his why. Everything in that conversation changed when he started talking about we're talking about battling depression and anxiety. We're talking about helping people through depression and anxiety. As soon as he started talking about his why, by the way, you can check it out at talk173.com. The whole conversation's there. But as soon as he started talking about his why, everything else clicked. Everything else got in line as to why, not just why the product makes sense or the mission makes sense. But it's not just why the product makes sense, it's why the mission makes sense. Why are you tackling this? And if your why resonates, then I'm buying in.
Yeah.
That's where the buy-in comes from.
And more importantly, if you can show your heart behind your why, heart's that multiplier of all other traits.
Resilience, I think, is pretty much a no-brainer when it comes to leadership.
Yeah, you can't get one failure and stop.
Yeah, you
got to keep going,
stomp your feet and throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
Optimism, I think, is a big one here. I think this separates a lot of people out. It weeds a lot of people out.
It does because, optimism is contagious. It's really hard.
Yeah.
If yours is, again, if you follow with the other traits and optimism comes into play, it's hard for people to sit in a room while you come in super optimistic and say, hey, we got great things coming. Here's how we're going to do it. Here's our why behind it and everything else.
Right.
It's hard for them to sit there and be like, I don't know, man. I don't believe you. I don't like if you got that trust, all those other factors, and you come in with optimism.
Yeah, I want the guy who knows you're going to convert on 3rd and 17.
Yeah.
The odds are against you. There's no play on paper that's going to be perfect on 3rd and 17, but I want the guy who's going to convert on 3rd and 17 because he's going to lead you to an undefeated season, win a Heisman, and go number 1 overall to the Bengals.
100%.
That's optimism.
And he knows and believes that he can do it, and he's going to drive the team to do everything he can. Because coming down with number 10, discernment.
Yeah.
Don't get stuck in a decision circle. Like, don't get stuck in a decision loop, man. Figure out what you want to do. Tell the team, here's the plan, and go.
Yeah. That's the one I struggle with the most because I'm an Enneagram 6.
I have no idea what that is.
That's paralysis by analysis,
oh, yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I'm,
don't get stuck.
I'm a hell of a team player, but I get in those loops, man.
So, in other words, don't come to you with a decision to be made?
No. You put me in a candy aisle, and you can leave me there for an hour.
Well, we know which ones you're not going to pick up, right? The hallucinogenic lines ones you just talked about.
Wow. Okay. No, it's the paralysis by analysis is
Yeah.
brutal. He's Patrick Gremillion, host of the Patty G Show. Always love the time, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Brian.
8 o'clock. News, traffic, weather. Hour 3 is next. Oh, man. Yeah. You don't know Enneagram?
No.
You should learn Enneagram.
Why?
You'll grow a better understanding. Ask Flynn.
Okay.
You will grow a better understanding of your strengths and weaknesses, how to maximize your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. You will also learn better how to work in more lockstep with your coworkers. That's if I understand the 9 numbers on the Enneagram scale,
Yeah.
and who is where, I have a better, like, if someone's always deep in their feels, I know how to approach them, and they know how to be approached.
Yeah.
Like you're able to work better with amongst your team.
Yeah.
That way. I'm a huge believer in Enneagram.
That emotional intelligence.
It's putting a physical grasp on that emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Yes. You say, like, you got like a guy like Moscona. Okay, I can go to him straight business. Like, here's what I need. I don't have to say please. I don't have to have any fluff. Here's what I need, and Moscona will come right back with, here's what I can offer. Like, Matt, I need you on an 8:15. He'll come right back with, that's when the players are going to be talking. I can't talk to them. And just there's no, hey, look, I'm sorry, but I can't. Maybe it's just straight business.
Yeah.
As opposed to,
Another colleague.
Another colleague who, if I go to them and say, hey, I know you're stacked up right now, but if you could peel away a couple of minutes, I need this. That's, rather than saying I need this, I lead in with, I recognize how busy you are.
I hear you and recognize
Right.
you. I know you're busy.
Right. So, but yeah, I am an Enneagram 6, and we have Joey comes in. That's her name. I can't remember her last name for the life of me. She comes in probably 2-3 times a year, and we learn more about the whole Enneagram program and whatnot. And she's like, "You are the most 6 I've ever seen." So,
yeah, I mean, I've got clients that get stuck in that, paralysis by analysis.
Yeah.
And then they make a decision.
Well, because
they make a decision, they change their mind a week later, and it's just like,
oh, see, once the decision's made and the cat's out the bag, I roll with it. I run with it fully.
Oh, no,
But I'm constantly exploring the possible problems.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, I want to have every possible scenario solved before launch, as opposed to we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So,
yeah, I try to balance that a little bit.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I'm not going to know everything going into this. I know I'm not going to know everything going into this. Let me minimize my unknowns.
Yeah.
And then we'll roll with it.
So I'm getting better at that.
Yeah.
I'm getting way, way better at that.
There's very few things that I'm just like, oh, no, I'm not going to look into this at all. If anything, I'll have a decision, and then I'll make the decision of like, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. But before I actually act on that decision, I'm going to go and spend a buttload of research. And I'm going to go read and through it, but it's like, I'm going to try to disprove my decision.
Well, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, Nelly.
You already got your landmark.
I got to do a real landmark. Are y'all members out of Paradise yet?
No.
You're not. When's the swimming lessons come around?
We just swim in the Hard Knocks. Swim lessons at Hard Knocks.
Oh.
They just figure it out.
Okay.
Well, so Charlotte's family, they have a lake house in Picayune, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Off of Hideaway Lake, and so we're there almost every weekend as we can.
Yeah.
And so it's got like a little beach area where they can walk and wade out. So they figure out how to do all that there.
How old is the boy?
Quentin, he is 3.5, and then
Is he going into Little Saints?
next year.
Okay.
So I think we're going to do one more round at Jumps, and then he'll be in Little Saints the following year.
Once he gets into Little Saints, you're going to join Terra.
Terra Bocage.
There's more mercy in Terra.
Yeah, I grew up at Terra. I was very bougie.
the Haldane tab.
They have tabs at Terra.
Oh, yeah, but for like
Don't give
dipping,
me that.
for like Dippin' Dots and shit.
You can buy burgers
No,
at
you
Terra.
can't.
They
You can buy
stopped
hot
selling
dogs.
burgers?
Wait, they might have burgers and hot dogs.
They
might
sell burgers and hot dogs.
Yeah, they
you're
might.
not getting a BLT.
Right.
You know, you're not getting a
Steak
margarita,
sandwich.
a spicy margarita over
Right.
rocks.
No, you're not getting any of that. Then you bring a spicy margarita over rocks, not anything glass.
No, I bring the Superior bag.
Yeah, that'll work too. Shit.
No, I love Terra. Grew up there, swim team and all that stuff.
The Tarpons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Terra Tarpon
This is our first year of not having someone on swim team in about 10 years.
Terra Tarpon for a long while. No, but see, the thing about Bocage, I can bring clients for lunch. I can't bring clients for lunch at Terra.
Well, no,
I don't necessarily want to see all of them in a swimsuit.
no, but that's not what it is, though.
I know.
The thing about Terra is if I'm going to Terra, I'm not working. That's my happy. That's like I clock out.
Yeah. Terra's a blast.
Yeah, I leave the phone on the table, lose the watch so it doesn't buzz when the phone buzz. You know.
You go all unplugged. No reaching Haldane unless you pull up.
Right.
Roll up at Terra and talk to Haldane.
That's right. That's right. Hey, get the fuck out of here.
Throw you in the leg kick.
I'll throw you in the leg. Later, brother. You too. .806 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. John LaBeouf producing. We got, I think we're done with all the serious stuff, man. I'm done talking business. I'm done talking politics. We're going to talk a little baseball in our next segment. We're going to have Chef Peter Sclafani coming in here, making some, hang on. I got to scroll back to it. Oh, buffet steak with chimichurri. How about that? Might throw down a couple of mojitos as well. Starting off your third hour at 77 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Before we get you to the outside end, let's remind you about the folks over at Vex European. Check them out online at vexeuropean.com. I'm going to continue to remind Jaguar owners, Vex European has got you covered. Your dealership closed a couple weeks ago, right? Where you go? If you were taking your Jaguar to the Jaguar dealership for your standard maintenance or oil changes, whatever the case might be, or whatever repairs you might need, now that the dealership is closed, where do you go? Vex European's got you covered. They have a master level technician that works on Jaguars. That's Jaguar certified. Check them out at vexeuropean.com. Make your appointment right there on the website. If you wanted to go see them, they're on Benefit Drive, kind of the back end of Industriplex, which, if we're being honest, isn't too far away from where the Jaguar dealership was, because it runs you right out the airline on the other side. Tell you what, give them a call, 225-800-4706, 225-800-4706. Vinny and his team ready to take care of you, ready to take care of your Jaguar, and whatever European vehicle you drive. Hit the little vehicles tab at vexeuropean.com. They'll get you covered at Vex European. Time for This Day in History. Time.
All right. Starting off in 1798,
As you
U.S.
would.
Marine Corps officially establishes as a distinct military branch by an act of Congress signed by President John Adams.
Wow. All right.
Day.
Yeah. I didn't realize we were that far along in the year.
Yeah.
That happened fast.
Yes, indeed. 1804, Vice President of the United States Aaron Burr mortally wounds Secretary of the Treasury Alexander Hamilton in a pistol duel.
Yeah. Aaron Burr.
Yeah.
Okay, so hang on. I got to clarify
Before
that.
we
That's a
go any
very
further?
old commercial. Remember the Got Milk campaign?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a commercial where it was like a radio show and they asked a trivia question about the duel.
Okay.
And the guy was eating peanut butter and he was the ninth caller or whatever, so they asked him on the air who shot Alexander Hamilton, and Aaron Burr, because he didn't have milk.
Oh.
See, if you had some
There
milk,
you
you
go.
could have
It's one way to
washed
sell
the
it.
peanut butter down and
That's right.
said proudly, Aaron Burr.
That's right. That's right.
Got milk?
Yeah. 1892, some lamp controversy, the incandescent lamp controversy. U.S. Patent Office states Joseph Swan, rather than Thomas Edison, invented the electric light carbon for the incandescent lamp.
Really?
So,
All right.
Franklin Roosevelt announces he will run for a fourth term as president of the U.S. in 1944.
Okay.
This day. Let's see. 1984. This took a while. U.S. government mandates that all cars must be equipped with airbags or seatbelts by 1989.
Yeah.
That took a
Crazy,
while.
right?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Like, I remember those days.
No seatbelts,
Like,
just
89, I guess I was 13 years old. But yeah, I remember there was like the lap belt in the front seat. You didn't necessarily have to have a seat belt in the back seat.
Mm.
You didn't even have that shoulder strap.
wow.
Yeah.
It's complete anarchy.
I don't know. They
Anarchy in the
parents,
back seat.
Parents turn a corner in that
Yeah.
Chevy Impala, and you're just sliding all over the place.
And nowadays, you see kids not buckled in the back seat, and it just makes me scream.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, 1988, Mike Tyson hires Donald Trump as an advisor.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
All right.
that happened. El Chapo escapes from a maximum security prison this day in 2015.
Saw that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Joaquin Guzman.
Yeah. Let's see. 2021, billionaire Richard Branson flies to the edge of space in his Virgin Galactic rocket plane in a space tourism test.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is he considered an astronaut now?
He went to the edge of space.
That's it.
I don't know if that counts.
Does that count?
I don't know.
Does it count for Katy Perry?
No.
Is she an astronaut now?
No.
Oh.
They didn't leave the atmosphere, did they?
I don't think so.
They just went really, 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 really high.
Really, really high. Anything else on this day?
No.
How were you doing on birthdays over there?
Pretty good.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it's a slow day for me. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm missing something. John Quincy Adams on top of my list.
Yeah, I got that one. I'm seeing that right there.
Actor Stephen Lang as well.
Who?
Let's see. Stephen Lang.
Don't know who that is.
He's an actor.
Well, yeah, but like normally you would
What
throw
did
in
he
a
play
movie.
in? He
or-
play in
That's what I'm asking.
Don't Blink, I think is what it was. Don't Blink.
Don't blink.
Yeah, he played a blind guy. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I told you it was a slow day.
No, I got actress Lisa Rinna.
Oh, actress Mindy Sterling.
I think she's more. Lisa Rinna's actually more known for being on that garbage. Which Housewives is she on? Oh, somebody's gonna know and post it up on the Facebook live feed.
Should.
Is she Beverly Hills? Yeah. Either way, Lisa Rinna's 62 years old today.
Okay.
Giorgio Armani.
Okay.
It's his
yeah.
birthday. He was born on this day in 1934. You had also
Lil Kim as well.
Leon Spinks, born on this day in 1953. Yeah, saw Lil Kim on there. And
Justin Chambers,
who's that?
who I'm sure my wife knows from Grey's Anatomy.
Okay. Yeah, so I got two more from the world of sports, and then we'll move on to deaths. It's Joey Bosa, Chargers defensive end. He was born on this day in 1995. And Vikings cornerback, LSU great, Patrick Peterson,
Okay.
was born on this day in 1990.
Good stuff. Deaths.
Go for it.
I don't know. It's George Gershwin.
Okay.
So
That's a pretty big one.
That's the one. Yep.
Yep.
Let's see. Laurence Olivier. Apparently, he's known. As an
Yeah,
actor,
that's another good one.
Yep, for Hamlet. Lady Bird Johnson.
Okay.
Today.
I think we'll call it after that. What national day you got?
Well, of course, we don't have any 7-Elevens around here, but it's Free Slurpee Day.
No, I don't care.
7-Eleven.
It's National Mojito Day, and Chef Peter Sclafani is going to be in the
Hey.
house in just a little bit. So
There we go.
that's what we're going to roll with right there. All right, it's 8:14 at Talk 107.3 FM. Quick break. When we come back, talk a little Rougarou baseball with Ronnie Rantz next.
Ronnie Rantz. Hi, Mr. Ronnie. Yeah, this is John with Brian Haldane. When you can, give me a call back. I'll tell you what, give me a call back at 225-408-1897.
I just texted him. .817 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We might have to pivot and talk with actress Jamie Newman here if we can't get a hold of Ronnie Rantz. Give Ronnie another call real quick and see if we can't get him connected because the Rougarou are playing at home tonight and they've got the Acadiana Cane Cutters and we're going to be out there for I think it's Guarantee Media Night, not just Talk 107.3 night. So looking forward to that greatly. Because it's always a good time out at Pete Goldsby Field. And I want to get a little preview of what the team's looking like and what folks can expect when they go out there. So hopefully we can connect with Ronnie here in just a quick second. I do need to remind you about the folks over at Landmark Bank. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. LandmarkBankLA.com. We were talking about them with Patrick Gremillion a little while ago. And it stays true to form, or they stay true to form, I should say. Founded in 1897 as a community bank, and then here in 2025, they remain a community bank. Fantastic folks over at Landmark Bank, and you don't want to just have a bank, you want to have a banker. LandmarkBankLA.com is the website. If you wanted to go check them out, get a good look at what they do on your personal banking front, on your business banking front. They've got you covered on both sides. LandmarkBankLA.com. Get a list of all the different branches and whatnot. And whether you're talking about your personal banking or your business banking, they've got you covered at LandmarkBankLA.com. No luck with Ronnie?
No, unfortunately not.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and pivot real quick just to keep things moving. I got the chance to talk with actress Jamie Newman. Do you know where that audio is at?
I'm about to go look for it.
Well, okay. Tell you what, let me step across real quick because I think I'll find it easier than you will.
Yeah, you probably will. So, yeah.
Studio.
And that maybe.
Studio.
in real time. This is live radio at its finest. Is that him? All right, here we go.
All right. Well, then I'm back to having to find a place for Jamie. So we got Ronnie Rantz on the hotline real quick. Ronnie, how are you, brother?
I'm doing good, fellas.
Let's start off with tonight out at Pete Goolsbee Field. Tell us what the folks can expect when they go out to see the Rougarou.
Big night tonight. It's a Friday night, and that means Jerry Lane Chevrolet fireworks. We do it in the middle of the seventh inning. Always a lot of fun. A great 6-minute fireworks show, professionally done. So that'll, usually the middle of the seventh when you start the game, 7:05, will be somewhere between 9 and 9:30. So hope folks can make it out for that. We've got just, fun jumps for the kids, man. We got like two big fun jumps. We've got the Raising Canes run the bases. Every kid that's 14 and under can go run on the field during the middle of the fifth inning or top of the sixth. You run on the bases. At the end, we take a big group photo with our mascot, and everybody gets their Raising Canes kids meal gift certificate. And oh, by the way, you get to watch some really good baseball. The team's playing pretty well. We've lost back-to-back games for the first time this year, but we're still 25-7. So pretty good year.
Okay, so back-to-back games for the first time this year. That's pretty significant because you're more than halfway through the year.
Right, yeah. We're, like I said, over 30 games in. We played 48 games total. We've already won the first half of the Louisiana division, which means our rivals, Acadiana Cane Cutters and Lafayette, the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. We finished in first place, and we're going to be hosting a playoff game August the 29th. But we still got a lot of baseball left July the 29th. We have 10 games left this month before we get to the playoff games. So 10 home games this month. So a lot of opportunity to see the Rougarou. Go to brrougarou.com, brrougarou.com.
I'm at brrougarou.com right now. In fact, I'm at brrougarou.com/roster. Ronnie, it looks like we're broadening out here. It looks like the guys are coming in from a much wider area. Has there been a focus on that, or is it just as the league picks up steam and the team picks up steam, more guys get interested?
Yeah, I mean, it's really not. We don't spend a lot of time worrying about where guys come from. It's just about trying to get the best players that we can that are interested in playing in the way we want to do it, do things the way we want to do it. A lot of summer collegiate baseball leagues around the country, and there's over 25 of them. Guys will go and say, hey, look, I want to come play, but I want to play for 3 weeks. Or I want to play for a month. I don't want to play the whole season. And we had a couple of those type kids that we agreed to in June, but for the most part, 90% of our team, these are guys that are committed the whole year. These are guys that, want to win and play the right way, be coached, take good coaching. And so far, we've done that. And I think that's why we've been successful, is because guys are playing the correct way, team baseball, and sometimes guys will play individually in the summer. They're worried about working on something, but our guys have bought in as a team, and I think the culture that we've created. Casey McKenzie, our GM, myself, who played summer collegiate baseball in Alaska and Cape Cod. I kind of know what it's like, and we treat them good, and we've built a really nice culture to where it's fun to be here in Baton Rouge.
We got Ronnie Rantz on with us, talking about the Baton Rouge Rougarou, who will be playing tonight at Pete Goolsbee Field, taking on the Acadiana Cane Cutters. All right, for those who don't know the roster that well, who are we looking for? Who are the guys that are standing out this year?
Well, Blaze Priester's been on fire the last about 3 weeks. He's from Live Oak High School. Had a couple of routes. He played at LSU last year, but now he's going to be going over to Southeastern, get an opportunity guaranteed to play as a catcher. He's got a, pro potential kind of guy. Yeah. I think he's leading the league with 6 home runs and leading the league in RBIs and, really just coming into his own. And remember, this is wood bat. This is like professional baseball. So when you come to our games, it's not metal. This is a wood bat. That's what makes it so neat. And so he's having a great summer. We've also got a guy, Fabian Hernandez, who's back for the second year. He's from the Dominican Republic. This left-hander has just been sensational. He was one of the best pitchers in the league last year. He's one of the best pitchers in the league this year. Dylan Thompson from Sam Houston High School over in Lake Charles. He was at LSU the last 2 years. He's going to transfer. I think he's signing with Blinn Junior College, one of the best junior colleges in the country, over in Texas. They have a really good pitching coach, and he's going to go over there. just the opportunity, right? Dylan's been very good. Fastball in the low 90s, really good breaking ball. So those are just an example of a few. And then Josh Shelley is our best player. He's just his third year with the Rougarou. He's from Thibodeau. His brother owns Go Cairo, chiropractic place here in Baton Rouge. You've probably seen it all around the area. But Josh Shelley's a really good player, hitting, in the upper 300s, plays shortstop, outfield. So those are some of the players to watch.
Yeah, Shelley is actually 383 right now. That is impressive, to say the least. We got Ronnie Rantz with us for a couple more minutes here. Ronnie, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up what y'all did earlier in the week when Seguin came to town. Tell us a story about how that all came together following the horrific and tragic flood in Texas.
Yeah, so one of the teams in our league is the Seguin River Monsters, and they are located about 25 minutes outside of San Antonio, very much near the area that was impacted. Seguin itself had tremendous flooding and whatnot, and we were supposed to play them Saturday in Baton Rouge, but they couldn't get here. They literally, the team, the players couldn't all get to the bus to be able to get here because of the flooding over in Texas, and so we ended up playing a doubleheader on Sunday night, and we just said, hey, look, folks, come on out, bring just supplies, make a donation, whatever. We're going to help the folks out over in Texas, and the Baton Rouge community responded extremely well, and we were able to fill up a U-Haul full of supplies. We got the Cajun Navy involved, kind of turned the U-Haul over to them. They got it back over to Texas, and then we've gotten some supplies and some donations this week as well. Folks are welcome to drop it off today. Is the last day we're going to accept it tonight. But tomorrow morning we drive to Victoria, Texas to take on the Victoria Generals. We're going to load up all the supplies that we receive this week or today in our bus, and we're going to bring it over to the charities over in Texas when we go over tomorrow.
Very cool stuff. It's great to be able to help out when you can help out. It's great when you're able to find a lane to be able to get in a time like this as well. Got just a couple minutes left here with Ronnie Rantz, and I'm going to completely pivot and kind of catch you by surprise with this one, Ronnie. But so not only are you owner of the Rougarou here, but you head up the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. I'm going to be heading up past that way tonight and then back this way tomorrow. I'll be in Natchitoches around lunchtime, and I need to know, who do I need to get with to make that Natchitoches exit off the interstate better? Natchitoches, the Sports Hall of Fame is awesome. The city is awesome. The university is awesome. What is it about that exit? How can we make that exit a better place? Just the interstate exit itself. Can we start lobbying for a Buc-ee's?
That would be awesome. They did get a Whataburger about a year ago, so that's pretty big.
I did see that. When the Whataburger is your highlight, you've got bigger problems.
I'd say the good thing is that when you hit that Manning Natchitoches exit, the main one, there's a couple of Natchitoches exits, but the main one, Manning Natchitoches, 7 minutes, you take a right coming from Baton Rouge, 7 minutes, you're right at the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, which is open Tuesday to Saturday, 10 to 4:30 p.m. So you can go see it tomorrow. You'll be passing through Natchitoches right when we're open.
I will be passing through with my daughter. I think we're going to make a pit stop to stop in and give it a look because she's never gotten to see it before, and I know there's some folks in there that she's going to want to see. She's going into 8th grade and plays girls basketball, so there's more than a few names within that building that she's going to want to get a look at. In the meanwhile, always appreciate the time. Look forward to seeing you tonight.
Brian, thank you so much.
Always.
See you tonight.
He is Ronnie Rantz from the Baton Rouge Rougarou, and yes, it is always a good time out there. So cannot wait for that. We got 2 minutes until we have to break. All right, cool. That gives me enough time to remind the folks about the Moon Griffon podcast. Told you all about Louisiana Business Weekly podcast earlier in the show. Moon has a podcast as well. Whether it's Baton Rouge blunders or DC drama, Moon has got the hot takes and the hometown humor to keep you laughing and thinking. No fluff, no filter, just Moon being Moon. Listen and subscribe on all your favorite platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and more. And, of course, you can get every episode at talk1073.com, the same way you can get your Louisiana Business Weekly podcast. And, of course, if we're telling you what to go download, you'll want to download the free Talk 1073 mobile app as well. Find out what you missed each day at talk1073.com, or watch us live on Facebook or on the Talk 1073 Baton Rouge YouTube channel. All this is courtesy of Lake Urgent Care. Lake Urgent Care has got you covered for walk-in care. All right, we're at 8:30 at Talk 1073 FM. We are at 78 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. We're going to break for news. We'll break for traffic. I will have the weather on the back end of that, and then it is time. Every week at about this time, the folks from the Louisiana Beef Industry Council bring you Foodie Friday. This week, we got Chef Peter Sclafani in from Solu. This week, we are having a little bit of bavette steak with chimichurri. If I'm not mistaken, some mojitos as well. Always about to get loose. But first, let's check news. All right.
Cool.
What you say, Bubba? Come on in. What you need? Do you need to set anything up, or and is it just you on the microphone, or do I need to pivot over? Yeah, come on. We'll get both of y'all on here, and then I'll move over to mic 2. Yeah. So her instead of you, or her along with you? With. Yeah, absolutely. Look at that. Is that fit for space? Oh, I'm just now seeing your text. Cool. That's fine. We just show it off for the camera, and yeah, I'm still working on getting us back to where we can cook in studio. That will be a good day when we can. Well, they took away our microwave too, so. Oh, good. Yeah, they moved the microwave upstairs to 3 because that's where 104.5's at. So, right here. Oh. There will be where we'll try everything. Well, let's make. No, we can make it during the break. Okay. And then while I'm trying to steak, so we're going to talk about steak, and the chimichurri, and just talk about everything Solu during the first segment.
Okay.
And then when we go to break, that's when we'll show it off for the Facebook and YouTube audience, taste everything, give the full review of it. So if I wanted to show you something, could they see this? Yes, you give it to John. He puts it up in front of the camera. Talk about the grain. Yes. See how you can see. Absolutely. So we were out of Solu a couple weeks ago. We were having lunch with the folks from Pennington.
Nice.
Yep, very nice. They re-upped for another year of advertising.
Good.
It was pretty busy at lunchtime too, so you were doing very well. All right, we're looking at about a 40% chance of rain today. That should roll through in your early afternoon hours, like 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Up in there is when we're looking at that chance of rain. After that, it should scale back. Your high today is getting up to 90. That rain's going to cool it off a little bit, so we'll be in the upper 80s after that, and shouldn't get back to 90 once that rain rolls through. Overnight low tonight gets down to 74. Tomorrow we'll top out at 92. Sunday we'll top out at 90 with a 50-50 chance of rain. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're looking at about a 30 to 40% chance of rain each day to start off next week. And then by the time we get to Thursday, it really ramps up to a 70% chance of rain for Thursday and Friday. Typical summer patterns, what we're looking at here. Right now, it's sunny and 81 in downtown Baton Rouge. So, yeah, Southern Miss, and she got accepted to a program where she moves in 3 weeks early. So we're moving her on August 1st. 8:37, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. It is that time of the week. Time where we start talking about beef, time where we start talking about eating good, time for Foodie Friday. Welcoming in from Solu today, we've got Aaron Gazzardo, we've got Chef Peter Sclafani. Welcome aboard. How y'all doing today?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for having us.
Glad to have y'all on board today. I always love when Solu comes in. Peter, you know I love when you come because you break it down. You break it down to the fiber. You break it down to the protein. It is a special treat to.
We got the perfect steak for that today.
So yes, let's talk about that a little bit. What are we looking at?
So we're looking at a steak they call bavette. You know, I'm always trying to find those kind of interesting cuts. Now, they're not making any new cuts on a cow. Cow's been the same. But, you know, we're trying to find something that's going to give us a little bit better value than what they call the middle meats, like the ribeye, the strip, the filet. Those are, you know, really super expensive right now. So we're trying to find something that gives us great flavor and some tenderness. And so bavette is what we're showcasing today. So we do a little steak frites at the restaurant, and bavette in French means bib, and it's because the shape of the bavette is slightly curved. It kind of curves up like a little U almost.
Okay.
So it's similar to like a flank steak.
Yeah, but leaner, right?
No, it's more marble.
Really? Okay.
More marble than a flank. So I like to say it's like if a ribeye and a flank steak went to prom, you'd come up with a bavette. So it's a little thicker than a flank steak, but it really beefy texture. So it's not always called bavette. It's called flap meat sometimes, or sirloin flap.
Okay.
So you have to look for it. Not every store carries it, but you can find it out there if you look and you ask the butcher.
Where on the cow would it be? I mean, if it's sirloin flap, I would assume it's near the sirloin.
Yeah, but it's more towards the belly portion, and that's what gives it that kind of beefier flavor. So same thing like with a skirt or flank, it's going to have that really beefy flavor.
Right.
So same thing. Now we're at Solu. You know, I'm a fan of sous vide, so we're kind of sous videing these steaks a little bit to make sure we get them cooked. We're sous videing them for a couple of hours to develop a little bit more tenderness, because it's it can be a little more toothsome sometimes because of where it comes from. So the thing is, you want to make sure you're cutting it across the grain. So I know you got some YouTube people who may look at this.
Yeah, let's hand that off to John. Let him show off the grain to Facebook
this
and
one
YouTube.
Is pretty good, where you can see the grain, but it's these lines that run across the steak. So you don't want to cut with it; you want to cut across it.
Okay, what does that do? What does that free up?
Well,
when you cut across?
It helps in terms of tenderness. So if people like to go and search this, Alton Brown did a great. He likes to break down the science of food, and so he took a bunch of hoses and bound them together, because hoses would run the same way as the grain, and it's like when you cut across the hoses, it shows you how it's more tender than if you cut with it.
Okay.
So all we want to do now is you can cut straight, or I like to cut on a little angle to give you more surface area. but we're just cutting across that grain, and it makes it more tender when you eat it.
Okay.
So, and now we're serving this with chimichurri.
Let's talk about that.
So chimichurri, it's one of my favorites, and it's when people hear it, if you're not familiar with it, it's an Argentine steak sauce, but it's very herbaceous. So when we make ours, it's got Italian parsley, cilantro. So we just take a bunch of parsley, a bunch of cilantro, some shallots to give you a little mild onion flavor, a little bit of garlic, some jalapenos. I leave the seeds in it to make it a little spicier, some lime juice, and I use a little Steen's cane vinegar too.
Ooh, okay.
Then we turn the food processor on, and we stream in some olive oil, and then just finish it with a little salt. So it's really just these herbs with that lime and a little vinegar and oil. So really, really great. Now, it's typically in Argentina, it's done with steaks, but I like it on fish, especially meaty kind of fish like tuna and swordfish. I think it just works great on.
Okay.
So,
okay. How difficult is a chimichurri to make at home? I mean, is this
it's
something
easy. I can send you the recipe if you want to share that.
Would
and
love to,
It's
yeah.
easy. It's just really, I mean, we just take a bunch of parsley, and I just twist the bottom stems off and put all the leaves in there. Parsley and cilantro, shallot. And if you don't have shallots, you can use onion. Leave it out if you want. A little garlic, jalapenos for a little spice, lime, and olive oil, and it makes this great little sauce.
Now, for like you said, in Argentina, that's considered a steak sauce. We're a bit more purist around here when it comes to the steak. Adding all those different flavors, how does that pair up with what would especially with that particular cut?
Yeah, so I think you get the beefiness from the steak, but then you get that little brightness from that that lime juice and a little bit of vinegar in there, and I find it really makes it pop.
Okay.
I really, really love it. I love to put it on, like, even if I'm just grilling vegetables and I have some of this left over, I love this sauce on so many things.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to dig into that when we get to our break in a little bit. Right now, though, let's talk Solu overall. Let's talk about what y'all got going on. What's the latest?
The latest, we've been preparing for Restaurant Week. We're really looking forward to that. We're working on some menus. Hopefully get some excitement this summer, get some people in here.
And, Solu has this great patio, and when we can avoid the rain,
yeah,
it's good. But, we got these great screens that come down now. So even that we have some spots that are undercover. So even if it rains, we can put the screen down. Unless it's raining sideways, it prevents the rain. We can even open the garage doors and get some AC out there.
And the thing is that the way the rain's been hitting lately, it's like in between lunch and dinner,
Mhm.
but it's been making it actually rather pleasant
Yeah.
outside
It is.
for dinner time. It'd be a
Mhm.
great time to take advantage of that.
And still, even when it's hot or rainy, people still love the patio at Solu and love to go sit there. And the great thing about the screen is you can see through it, so you can still see that you're out under the oak trees. It's been really, really great.
All right, so for those who are unfamiliar with Solu from the start, let's walk through how the concept came to be and what y'all offer that you're not going to find somewhere else.
So the concept started at the kind of towards the end of COVID, and we were offered a couple of spots. And when I saw that, I'm like, man, we better jump on this. It was the old Rum House on Perkins Road, right by Essen, and it had this beautiful patio. And we're like, wow, we have to do this. And while we're outside, just thinking about this restaurant, we're like, this is what South Louisiana is all about. And hence, that's where the name Solu came from, for South Louisiana. So we really do Louisiana-inspired food, but it's more comfort food with a twist. So like one of our biggest sellers there is chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Which are phenomenal, by the way.
I can't tell you how many of those we sell, but we do strawberries with a little balsamic syrup over them, and just things like that. We do the shrimp corn dogs that I've been doing for so long. So again, it's fried shrimp, which is comfort food in Louisiana, but now just presented a little different way. We put a little bit of sugar in there and some baking powder, and we serve them on this block standing up, and people love that. We do tabletop s'mores where you can roast the marshmallows at the table, and
which is just insane. If
just
you're not taking
fun,
advantage of that, you're missing out. It is because it brings a level of presentation, a level of showmanship to the overall experience.
And if I had to tell you the one word we hear the most about Solu, it's vibe. Like, man, we just love the vibe. And Aaron does a great job with selecting the staff, trying to find staff that helps keep that vibe going. And we really just want it to be fun. We don't, as a chef, you would think, well, I want people to say, wow, it's the best food I ever had in my life. That's great when we get that. But really what I want people to say is, wow, I just had such a great time.
How hard is that right now? I know everybody's struggling to keep, staffed up. Everybody, whether you're talking about in the restaurant world, whether you're talking about teachers, whether you're talking about police officers, it's tough to keep anything staffed right now.
It is. It's tough, but I will say that our Solu has a great team, and turnover's not as crazy. We've created a culture there that's great. That they're aligned, they work together. It's basically a family, so it really contributes to the guest experience that we've had those people for so long.
And I'm not just saying it because Aaron's sitting right here, but I do think it has to do with leadership a lot. People like to work for managers, and Erin's not just a manager; she's a leader there and leads that team.
Very cool stuff. You're listening to Foodie Friday, presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Their website, beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Talking about food as fuel, right? Through every stage of your life, whether you're talking about eating the iron, whether you're talking about eating the proteins, the 10 vitamins, the nutrients. You can learn all about that at beefitswhatsfordinner.com. You can also pick up a couple recipes that might help you along the way to up your game on your grill. Beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Now, that being said, I'm looking forward to digging in on this in about 2.5 minutes when we get into break. But there's so much more to Solu's menu. Whether you're talking about the boudin quesadilla, or I think my favorite is the fish tacos. I think the last 3 or 4 times I've been there, it's been fish tacos every time.
It's amazing how great, tacos are just in general. And so we'll, in fact, one of the things we're thinking about for Restaurant Week is doing an alligator taco. But we have a lot of people who put, who like to sub shrimp for their fish. So, we do shrimp tacos and just love that. But that just,
when you do a shrimp taco, is it a boiled shrimp, or you go with fried?
Generally grilled shrimp.
There you go.
Or blackened shrimp.
Okay.
But we can also do fried.
I think fried would take over the whole thing. Like throwing that in a taco would everything else you put in that taco that has all those combinations of flavors,
right.
I would work. Like I could see how the grilled pairs with it.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it in my head with the fried. So.
But those are great. So we just love to think about those Louisiana-inspired flavors, because that's really what we're built on. That's what my passion is local, regional, all of the great ingredients from around the state. And we love doing that and finding inventive ways. So when you eat it, you still feel comforted because you're familiar with it, but maybe you haven't seen it presented in that way.
Right. We got 1 minute till break. Now, as I understand it, we're not just doing steak today. I believe it is National Mojito Day.
It is.
What are we in store for here?
We're going to get a mojito going for y'all, get y'all to taste that as well.
Okay, so you're going to prepare the mojito once we're in break.
Yes.
What goes into a mojito, and what do y'all do different and or better than everybody else?
So today I just brought the simple syrup, the lime juice, and then our rum that we're going to be using. But what's great about Solu is we do a blue heron, which is our twist on it, and we add blueberries to it as well. So
okay.
We have options.
Okay. All right, so we're going to dig in on all that. And John, you get in on both? Don't make me drink alone. Okay. All right. We got Your Money Now coming your way on air. We're going to check Your Money Now. We'll take a quick break and check traffic on Facebook Live. We're going to dig in here in just a second. Take a couple bites. Try this bavette steak out with the chimichurri and give you the full review. Of course, when we come back, we'll do the full review for everybody. But here we go. It's 8:50. Your Money Now on Talk 107.3. All right.
I didn't even think about that.
See, normally I have to go dig in for plastic outside. All right, so there's some consistency in there. Like all the ingredients are still good to go there.
Yeah.
All right. Man, we need to show that off separately on camera.
So like I said, I was on TV this morning, and they were kind of talking about the presentation, and I'm like, back in the day we used to say you eat with your eyes first. Now we say you eat with your phone first. Because everybody wants to take wants to take the photo.
I do need to do that, so when we post it on demand, we'll post the audio on demand. We put the picture with it, so let me do that first. You're absolutely right. Yeah, my problem is once I'm somewhere, like I eat with my nose first, because before you even sit down, like that's what's taken over, and like.
So I'm a TJ Moran disciple.
Yes.
And that's the great thing about Ruth's Chris. You walk in there and you are hungry because you have that brown butter. It's just, it's an amazing, amazing smell, and a lot of the steakhouses in New Orleans do that same thing. So it's like, man, you walk in and just like, wow, it smells just like Ruth's Chris,
Yeah, it's amazing. No matter what's out there, no matter what's available. My wife for her birthday wants Ruth's Chris every year.
Right.
Yeah, because it delivers.
Mm-hmm.
You get the experience every single time.
Super consistent. Chris just does an amazing job over there. Such a great operator.
Walk me through this again, because there's so much happening at once. The chimichurri, because the beef, it takes a minute for the beef to come back to the top. But what's in the chimichurri again?
So it's parsley and cilantro.
The cilantro hits, yes.
Then it's a little bit of shallot, so you get a mild onion flavor, a little bit of garlic, then some jalapeno.
Really?
Jalapeno, and then lime, and we use a little Steen's cane vinegar, just to bump up that acidity, just a little bit, and then we turn the food processor on and stream some oil. Some olive oil in there.
Simple olive oil in there. And I can tell you, like, normally, we were just talking about steak with butter on it.
Right.
Normally, I don't associate olive oil with steak, but the way it just kind of, I don't want to say dissolves into it, but like melts into it, like fits right in perfectly. The way the steak the beef flavor takes a back seat for a second. You get the pop of all those others. I'm definitely tasting the garlic and the cilantro first. I did not even know there was jalapeno in there. The lime comes to the forefront very, very strong as well. And those flavors within the chimichurri combine greatly. And then once the beef comes back into play, it's like, it like completely rounds out the whole thing. That is fantastic. The tenderness on this thing is what surprises me. I wasn't ready for that end of it. So when you talk about the sous vide, and I'm a big sous vide guy. When you talk about sous vide in this, you're talking what, 2 hours?
2 hours. We say a minimum of 2 hours.
Okay.
So sometimes, in a restaurant, you don't know exactly when you're going to serve it.
Yeah.
So sometimes it goes a little longer than that, but we try not to go.
But I mean, when
we
you're
don't need it
maintaining a temperature of what, 120, 125?
We're doing 130 on
130. Okay.
130.
All right. Yeah, you got room to wiggle there. You got wiggle room there for sure. I mean, it doesn't. 2 hours versus 2 hours and 15 minutes is not going to make a difference.
As you know, we still need to sear it later.
Of course.
So we're gonna sear it too, and now we can bump it up to whatever temperature you want. But I have to start it at that lower temperature.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what we do. Even when we do short ribs, we do the same thing. Now I can take it we'll usually do our short ribs like 128. So just a couple of degrees below it.
Okay.
But we'll go for sometimes as much as 3 days. I haven't been doing the 72 hours when I'm doing short ribs now. I'm doing 36. So, and I have to go over this with my staff over and over again because it tricks your brain because you're like, oh, it's got to be so overcooked. Doneness is a function of temperature, not time.
Right.
If you don't go over the temperature, you never get the doneness. And then some people, and when I first heard of sous vide, I'm like, wait, that doesn't sound safe. 128, you never got to. It's just like when you go to a wedding at a hotel and you have the big steamship round. That thing never got up to a high temperature, but you get like pasteurization. So completely safe, over time, even at a low temperature.
Okay. One of the things that I'm finding amazing here is normally when I sous vide something for 2 hours, it gets a little more brown than I'd like it to. You maintaining that pinkness in here. How is?
So I would tell you, you're going to get that light brownness on the outside. It's just you don't have what's called the Maillard reaction. You need that. The Maillard reaction is when you sear it, and you're going to get that browning, and that's where the flavor comes from. But I call it, instead of brown, it's more like gray. I say it looks anemic.
A little bit.
Yeah, you get that anemic look, and people look at it, and you're like, oh, you're going to eat that? I'm like, well, I'm going to sear it first. I'm going to brown it. I'm going to create that chemical reaction by putting high heat on the outside of it. And like if you watch TV, you'll see those chefs. Oh, I'm going to take a blowtorch. I've never been the blowtorch fan for cooking a steak. Some people do, and I'm not hating. But
Okay, so I've never understood that, because to me, you're not burning off all the gas right away.
Yeah, I find it gets a little of that gas flavor.
I would
to it. So I'm not a fan, but look, other people are, and I'm not.
Sure.
To each his own. I don't. It's not my style.
I'll greatly enjoy a creme brulee, and I know they've hit that with that, and it doesn't affect the flavor. So I don't know why it doesn't translate for me with steak. We're at 8:56 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. This is Foodie Friday as part of Mornings with Brian Haldane, and of course, it's presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. And we got Solu in the house today, bringing in bavette steak with chimichurri. And when I tell you all the flavors of beef paired with all the flavors of everything else under the sun, Chef Peter Sclafani with us. Okay, we just walked through this for all the Facebook and YouTube audience, but like as I've had a chance to kind of process it a little bit and enjoy more than one bite here. First and foremost, this cut of meat is phenomenal. You were talking earlier about, trying to find something new, trying to find something different. I'm surprised this isn't more popular than it is right now. This feels like this is going to be the hot new thing.
So I'll tell you, like the cool chefs have found it and so whoever names these things, like, I'm a big Spinalis fan, and I don't know who came up with that name, but that's not the most appetizing name. So bavette, even though it's French and it means bib, it still doesn't evoke things. So if you're looking closely on menus, you'll see some people call it, it's the chef's cut.
The chef's cut?
Yeah, that's just completely made up.
Okay.
But that's what I'll
what
see. So then when I go and I ask, hey, what's the chef's cut? Oh, it's a flap. Nobody wanted to say flap. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see why you didn't want to call it flap meat. Yeah.
Well, bavette sounds fancy.
It sounds fancy. So that's what we call it, bavette. But it's, it's from the sirloin. I think it's got great beefy flavor. But it's, and you got to watch. I love flank steak and skirt steak. You gotta watch it. You can't cook it too much. You gotta cut it against the grain.
And that was one of the things that really stood out to me. So the chimichurri is phenomenal. It brings all kinds of just this bouquet of different flavors. The lime really pops. The cilantro obviously pops. The garlic pops. You were telling me there's jalapeno in there. I didn't even realize there was jalapeno in there. And then I'm not used to olive oil on a steak, but man, does that just blend is not the right word. Blend is not the right word. Melt is not the right word. But the way it pairs in with it and keeping the tenderness of the steak around is amazing. Start to finish, it's a phenomenal choice. Highly, highly recommend. Have not gotten to the mojito yet. Aaron, what did we do here during the break?
We put lime juice, equal parts lime juice and simple, and rum, 2 ounces. But the key to making a mojito is whenever you're muddling your mint leaves, you don't want to over muddle or tear, or to release the chlorophyll taste and make it really grassy. So you got to be very careful with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is dangerous. This is so good. You know what? Stick around on Facebook Live. I'll give a full-on review of all the breakdown of flavor within that. There's a lot going on in there. The rum hits the backseat to the mint for sure.
It is, and it's very refreshing for a day like today.
Y'all, we are straight up out of time on air. This has been Foodie Friday presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Chef Peter, Aaron, they're over at Solu. You know where to find them on Perkins Road. What's the direct address?
7246 Perkins Road.
There we
go. Right
go.
across from Baton Rouge Clinic.
Moon Griffon is next. Stick around on Facebook. All right.
So something else I want to say, because you just reminded me, and I don't know why I forgot about this. But so it's steak free, so it comes with fries.
Okay.
Well, since we started Solu at the end of 2020, I've always used beef tallow to fry the French fries. Now it's become this big thing.
Well, beef tallow is everywhere now. People are putting it on their face.
Yeah. It's crazy what they're doing with beef tallow. But I was an early.
Scott, come on in. You're lurking out there.
Hey.
I was an early adopter.
We're gonna get all cut up here in just a minute.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were talking about the screens a little bit today. Yeah. So I was an early adopter of the duck fat French fries. So, and I discovered this. I went to a little bitty food show in New Orleans, like in some hotel room. Like didn't even have a meeting room. And I met this this beef company out of Dallas. And the guy sold all this cool stuff that I wanted. Like I wanted venison, very hard to find venison and elk and things like that. And they have regular duck, like Maple Leaf Farm, Peking duck.
Okay.
But I was enamored with foie gras. And to get the liver, you have to harvest the whole duck. And the breast meat on a duck that produces foie gras is huge and has a much meatier, less wild flavor than regular duck. And I was just like, oh my God, I've got to try this. And we had a little restaurant in New Orleans East. You would have been lost if you would have ended up there. And we get a knock on the back kitchen door, and I open it, and the guy's like, hey, my name's Michael Guynor. I own this company called Hudson Valley Foie Gras. And this guy, Steve from Dallas, told me you were interested in my duck. You got a few minutes? I'm like, so the owner of Hudson Valley Foie Gras came in my little restaurant and showed me how to prepare this duck. And it had such a thick coating of fat, and we scored it, and we cooked it really low to render a lot of this fat. And he's like, do not throw duck fat away. This is an amazing ingredient that no one knows about. And he had me just take some red cabbage, and we sliced red cabbage, and we cooked it in duck fat. And I'm telling you, one of the most amazing things. Now, I could never sell it, but just this amazing flavor of what the duck fat did with it. And I'm like, what else can you do with duck fat? And he's like, yeah, a lot of cool chefs in New York are cooking French fries in them. I'm like, oh, well, I'll try. It's hard to get enough.
A lot of fat.
It's a lot of fat. It's a lot of ducks to get that. But now they started selling duck fat. But anyway, I was doing that. And then the duck fat just got so expensive. You couldn't, and everybody was doing it. So then it's not as cool anymore when everybody does it. So I'm looking for something else. Like, what are we going to do with French fries? How do we take this and step it up? And I'm like, man, I remember, see, Aaron's not old enough, but I remember as a kid, McDonald's cooked the French fries in beef fat, and they were so great. And then everybody started worrying about, oh, we need to have this other kind of oil. You can't have beef oil. Now we find out, wait, that was all a hoax. The natural oils are so much better for you.
Okay.
But, I mean, when I tried sourcing tallow 5 years ago, it was so difficult to find. And actually what they would send me was just big chunks of fat that I would put through a grinder to render it faster.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just stick it in a pot with a little bit of water, and we'd let it render to try to fill up a deep fat fryer for a restaurant. Well, then they're like, oh, okay, we found some liquid beef tallow for you. So they started bringing it in for me. Now it's going so fast. Everybody's trying to order beef tallow. The country beef producers are not prepared for the demand for beef tallow. So they're trying to switch gears.
Well, how? I mean, you're talking about you'd have to raise the cows differently.
Well, no, it's what they do with the fat. I mean, they were throwing it away. Okay. They were adding it to hamburger. They were doing different things, probably making soap with it.
Okay.
So maybe some of the soap producers are not going to have beef tallow. They're going to have to go find, something else.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. Do we have a few minutes? Because I'll tell you more crazy stories. So one time I go to a food show in Chicago, and I see this tomahawk steak. And I'm like, oh, my God, this would go great in Baton Rouge. Everybody would love the steak with the big old bone. So I come back, and I talk to one of my meat guy here, and he's like, oh, yeah, tomahawk. Yeah, can't do it. I'm like, what do you mean? I know it comes off a cow.
Right.
And he had to explain to me that the way these factories are set up, they don't. And he's the one who explained to me this thing called the meat Bible. I'll think of the initials for it in a second, but it's how all big beef producers, they cut beef and it's not, every cut is numbered. So it starts with number 1 or 2, which is a half a cow, and then you get, quarters and things. So as you go further process, the number goes up. So like a bone-in ribeye is a 107, a boneless ribeye is a 109. So you order your beef from your supplier based on this number. So he's like, look, this is off of 103. We don't have plants that produce 103s. And I'm like, can't they just cut one for me? And he's like, you can't reformulate a whole plant for one guy. But he eventually found it. Now everybody in the world serves tomahawks and every plant produces them. But at the time, it was super hard to find. I'm like, I ate it. I saw it. Here's a picture of me eating it. Yeah. I know they produce them. Why can't we get them? Mm-hmm. And so I just think those things are like so interesting. And it's what I learn as a chef, because you see something and then you try to go find it. And in the course of doing that, you learn so many other things, because I had seen people talk about a 109, but I didn't know what that meant. And he gave me one of these meat buyer's guides. And it's like, oh, wow, here's every cut of everything and how you get it. And if I wanted to explain it to somebody, I had to find it in the meat buyer's guide. Like he told me, oh, it comes off a 103. Oh, 103. Okay. Now I can go look at. I can go look at that and see.
It means nothing until you make the connection.
Well, because most of them are cutting it and not leaving the bones whole. So when you break that quarter down, you cut the ribs off the cow, and those are going for short ribs and for other things.
Yeah.
And that's how the plant is set up. And they're not just going to. After that, I started visiting beef processing plants, and you're like, oh my God, I see what they mean. No way you can change this, because they're going through thousands of cows in a day.
Right. Unless you show demand on the front end. And then you don't, you can't have a chicken and egg situation there.
Exactly.
You can't say, well, we'll change it as soon as there's demand. There'll be demand after we change it. No. You got to have the demand first.
So same thing with the tallow. So you can say, oh, okay, there's demand. Well, it's going to take a minute to get everything reformulated, because whatever they had contracted for beef fat has to now be rearranged.
Very cool stuff. Very awesome. We're going to get this, by the way, is unbelievably refreshing. This can go fast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. And what was the blue heron you said was the other one? Where this is
it's a
that
twist
plus
on it
blueberries?
with blueberries. Yes.
Okay.
But today we're doing, since it's National Mojito Day, $5 mojitos at Solu.
Hello.
So, and people may not notice this, but on all of our Solu stuff, there's a blue heron.
Very cool. Why a heron?
Well, because we thought that's what you see in Louisiana. So when we were standing in the courtyard, and we're like, man, this is Louisiana. One of the guys who was helping us do this said, man, you know what this looks like? And he took a picture, and it was a cypress tree and a lake, and it actually was a white heron.
Okay.
There. But in my house, I had an Audubon print of a blue heron. I'm like, oh, we're going to do a blue heron. And it was that simple.
Okay.
And so that's kind of been like our mascot or our symbol. And so when we came up with the drink, we were like, hey, let's call it the Blue Heron.
So this is, like I said, it's light, it's refreshing. The mint is awesome. The rum, the rum will do you dirty, because you don't know it's there at first.
Mm-hmm.
But I would imagine when you add blueberry to that, it adds a little bit of pop of tartness.
Yes.
Yeah. Good stuff. Great stuff across the board. Y'all, thank you all so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure.
Y'all been watching Foodie Friday, presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. We are back at it next week.